Well, hey, it's time for Ask the Tech Guys. I'm Leo Laporte. Coming up, Mikah and I have our new iPhones. We'll take a look and at the new fine woven case.
And I'm Micah Sargent, and we help a listener who says, why can't I stream to my stereo-paired HomePods without turning on the TV?
Then Dick DeBartolo will show you how to slime your Barbies. Dolls not included. Ask the Tech Guys is next.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
This is Ask the Tech Guys with Mikah Sargent and Leo Laporte, episode 1993, recorded Sunday, September 24th, 2023. Three-story shoebox with a tandem garage. Ask the Tech Guys is brought to you by our friends at IT Pro TV, now called ACI Learning. Keep your IT team's skills up with the speed of technology. Visit go.acilearning.com/TWiT. TWiT listeners receive at least 20% off or as much as 65% off an IT Pro Enterprise Solution Plan after completing their form. You'll receive a proper quote based on the size of your team. Well, hey, look who's here. Mr. Mikey Sargent without his hair.
As well as Mr. Leo Laporte with his hair.
Did you go to Barack Obama's hair barber?
Might as well have been. She is a fantastic barber, like one of the best fades I've ever had.
Yeah, so you got a fade
for a long time. Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Well, she comes to us, so
she comes to you.
Yeah.
How nice!
It's a nice house visit.
There's a woman on the boulevard who has a barber shop, and she doesn't take appointments, but she has in front of the barber shop a glass window and markers. Dry erase markers, and you write your name on the window, and they'll add it to the list.
Oh,
and then
wow.
She comes out and erases a name. She calls your name. And come in from the bar next door.
Our barber works at the place downtown called The Shop. And
the Shop's good.
Yeah, they also
do good stuff.
They do a list there. They don't have it with the marker. They do. There's several of them there who do good work, and she's one of them.
I am Leo Laporte.
You are. Yeah.
I don't think I mentioned that.
I did. I mentioned you, and I mentioned that you have your hair.
And this is the show where, I have more than my usual amount of hair, which is why I slicked it back to do the Pat Riley, because I missed my haircut last week, or 2 weeks, maybe 3 ago. So it's getting a little shaggy.
Oh, are you going to go? I'm
going away with
your shaggy?
Yeah. Going to Green Bay, Wisconsin to show off my hairdo. This is the show where we answer your computer questions and technology questions and all that at 888-724-2884. That's a phone number. You can call that with a phone.
Whoa,
imagine that.
A phone making calls. Also with your phone, you can open up that browser and go to call.twit.tv. And when you go there, it'll pop you into a Zoom waiting room where you can then be brought live on air to join us and ask questions here on Ask the Tech Guys. That's call.twit.tv. Your microphone and your camera right there on your phone will serve as your means of being able to communicate.
We also are capable of ignoring your email at atg.twit.tv, and we don't intentionally ignore it, but there is quite a stack.
That's a lot of email. Oh, and if you call during the week, so whenever we're off air at that 888-724-2884.
You get busy signal?
You don't get a busy signal. You get to leave a voicemail where we'll be able to listen to that and answer your question during the show.
Why do they put this, they do this on purpose so far back?
We need to get a little rolly cart to put it on for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get the show underway with a little conversation about our brand new Apple regalia.
Yeah.
Brand new Apple regalia has arrived. That would be a phone. That might be a watch.
For some of you, yes.
Yes. I got the new Apple Ultra. You want to see the new watch face there? Oh, gosh. There it is. It's So what? It's just a watch face. What happened is, though, they go farther to the edge, so now they can have, these are seconds, but you could also have it be depth.
Yes.
Then I thought, well, I'm going to leave it seconds because I rarely get underwater.
Far enough.
In the bathtub. I could see, but a lot of complications. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 complications. For some reason, the date complication is like bigger than the time. I got to work on that.
That's a little frustrating.
But it's nice. It's pretty much the same.
Have you been gesturing?
Oh, I forgot. So what do I do? I forgot I could do that.
One thing you could do is go into like the music app or something that plays media.
They changed, by the way. They changed. Used to be you swipe up to get to your settings.
Yeah.
Now you swipe up
center
to get to your notifications, which is fine.
Yeah, it's a little widget screen that has kind of your.
Now you press this to get to settings,
Side
which is
button.
okay. And all of those settings are there. So if I play some music on here, maybe?
Yes, I think if you launch the music app.
All right, let's... or Audible. Would Audible work?
Probably work.
But we don't know. Let's do the music app just to make sure. Music. All right. And now I'm going to listen now to something fine. Where does it want to play? I don't know.
I guess
Play on the iPhone.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, now it's playing.
Yes.
By the way, that music interface now has album art, which is kind of nice. I'm playing A Whole Lot of Love. Now what? If I do...
In theory, now you should be able to pinch to... And this is why we say, in theory. I wonder if it's a feature you have to enable. Please, let me pause.
My muscles are getting sore from all this. Nothing's happening. Well, that's fine. That was a lot of fun. I'll do that again some other day. It's
Maybe
one of those,
for MacBreak
Apple
Weekly,
does this
you can end up
all
showing us.
the time where they put a new feature in and everybody gets all excited. Oh, that's cool. Looking good like that. And then nobody ever uses it.
Yeah, I think that this could end up being a cool feature, but I don't know if it's supposed to happen automatically or what.
Maybe I need to turn something on.
Oh, this is why.
Why?
Apple isn't launching Double Tap for the new wearables right away, but says the feature is arriving in October.
It's not there. So I bet there's people all over the world going like this.
I'm sure they are.
Uselessly.
I'm sure they are.
Unnecessarily.
Yes.
There's another thing they didn't release, which I'm disappointed. So they now have, instead of the silent button on the phone, which I really liked. It was the last phone that had a physical switch. Mm-hmm. Phones used to have that, a lot of them. But they took that away. Now it's just an action button. What I very quickly found out that you could still silence by tapping the bell in the control center. So that's good.
People who've used an Apple Watch and silenced it or an iPad and silenced it will be familiar with that in Control Center. Yeah. Because that's the way we've done it there.
So now you can assign, and it's kind of fun because they really went all out on the animation.
The interface for it is kind of wild.
The action button. Here's the interface, and you can choose different things. Now, another thing that's not coming yet is the translation button, which I think if you're traveling, that would be super cool. You could go, wait a minute, hold on, momentito, per favor, and then press the button and say, now talk, and it would translate. We'll see. That's not out yet. So for a while, I thought, well, I'll leave it on silent mode, but then I found the control center thing. Look at that animation. Isn't that silly?
Yeah, there's no reason.
There's no reason for that. But I guess they thought they could do that. So I was looking at it. Then I thought camera, but
it's easy to get.
It's easy to get the camera, and the volume controls still work as a shutter button. So you don't really need it as a shutter button. So I decided, note to self.
I like that.
Peanut butter raisins. And now I can when I press it. You have to hold it for a bit to say, this wasn't accidental. And now I'm recording. And I did that apparently earlier because I noticed I was recording and I didn't even, and then you press it again to stop, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Now I've taken a note to self.
That's a handy one. I've seen several folks who have already started to create little contextual action buttons. I think Mark Gurman ended up being one
with a shortcut.
Yeah. Originally he thought it was going to be for him, the get to your favorites contacts and place a call. So I guess he's still someone who calls people. Weird. But he ended up switching it to an action button where when he's away from home, then it can open the garage door as he gets home. And then once you get inside,
you can, because shortcuts can say where you are.
Yes.
You say, I'm by the garage door. Okay, do it. So you could do different things.
Yeah, you could say, when I connect to my home Wi-Fi, then when I want the action button to do this.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's, I think, one of the things that we'll hear from Rosemary on Tuesday about. I have to tell you that I'm a little sad, Leo.
You don't like your new iPhone?
It's not that. Well, I don't like the one I have because there's something wrong with it.
What happened?
I have spent the whole weekend when I wasn't asleep trying to get it to work, and I think I got a lemon.
What do you mean it won't work at all?
Because remember we had the call about the restore process, and you and I both talked about how easy the restore process is.
That's normally the phone to phone is the way to do it. I couldn't because I gave away my phone a week ahead of time. That is not a pleasant thing because I had to call T-Mobile to get this eSIM activated.
Oh, Lord.
And then he said, well, I have to send a text message to your phone. I said, well, you can't because it's not activated. He said, well, you have other numbers. I said, yeah. One's my son in Italy. The other's my daughter in Rhode Island. You could send them a text message, but can't.
Right.
He said, and then he said, well, we'll have to escalate this. So this was problematic because I'd given my phone away. Fortunately, I texted my son in Rome, and he was up at 2 a.m. And he said I could do it. So I did. I was able to get it activated.
Oh, good.
But then I had to do an iCloud restore, which worked fine.
Yeah. So I tried to do the phone-to-phone transfer.
Yeah, that's the one we recommend.
The one we normally do, and it just stalled out. I waited many hours thinking, because this is what I talked about. I preached patience. And on iOS today, leading up to this, you just let it take its time. Maybe something
shouldn't take too long.
It shouldn't take too long.
Should
but
take
I
about
thought,
half an hour.
Exactly. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to give it time. Okay. And it wasn't working. And then I restarted everything and decided to do it just straight up from an iCloud backup. Didn't work. And then at that point, I wasn't even able to get it.
Just spinning?
It was spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, saying, trying. Well, it's the part where after you put in your Apple ID information, then it says, activating the phone. So I am trying again this morning after having done a device firmware update.
You did the disk FU?
Exactly, the disk FU, yes. And
that's what I call it. The device for DFU.
Yes,
which is the hard. So there's a number of resets, but that's the hardest core one. You got to do. You got to do a little two-step, the Apple two-step, in perfect timing. But you did that because that's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah, I did that. And
that's like starts from scratch, and you have to download new firmware from there on your Mac.
And now the screen is just black with a spinning circle.
Your phone is screwed up.
Yeah. So I think I ended up getting.
Go to the Apple Store.
That's what's next. So
I'm sorry.
I'm bummed because I wanted to.
You haven't had a chance to play with it.
I haven't had a chance to play with it.
Here, you can touch mine.
I just wanted to. No, please. I just want to feel the what's it called?
The titanium.
No, the moment of inertia.
And you notice? I didn't notice. I mean, if you hold both phones, you'll notice it, but I didn't notice it really.
The smooth edges. Did you see the conversation about how because they've rounded the glass, apparently the glass is easier to break now?
Oh dear.
Somebody was doing some drop tests, and the drop tests they didn't last as long as before. So I don't know. It could be
get a case, which is why titanium is silly. People complain that you can scratch the color off on the colored ones. You also that there is a discoloration from titanium from fingerprints. Apple admits to that. They say, but you can clean it off. You're the first person to actually touch this.
Oh, really?
I put this in a case immediately.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm honored.
And this is the fine woven, which really, I think they took basically women's nylon stockings and just wrapped it around a case. Because that's what it feels like. But you're telling me it's really fine.
It is
super fine.
Incredibly fine.
And then I got this MagSafe wallet thing, which is cool because it sees it when you put it on. It goes, oh, you just added your wallet.
Yeah, I love that.
And it will know if you left it, which is actually was always a concern about using this, is it might fall off. Mm-hmm. But now it'll say, oh, you dropped your wallet. So this is a pretty nice. You can't do obviously MagSafe charging. I'll have to say the biggest thing. I'm really thrilled. I can now charge this phone with my Type-C cables, of which I have many, many, many. And so that's a revolution for me. I still have the AirPods and the AirPod Max that I have to charge with Lightning. But I have a little drawer called Lightning Cables. Little drawer. Mm-hmm. It's like your hardware, rack where you have screws and nuts and bolts and Lightning cables. And that drawer was getting pretty empty. Now it's pretty full.
it's just completely chock
Just
full.
like I just took them all out and put them in the thing. And so now anybody who wants a lightning cable,
be my
I got
guest. Be my. Can you show the iFixit blog
Yeah.
with some of those zoomed in photos?
Yeah.
It is. So it's under the news section. So I think if you go to ifixit.com/news, you'll find it. Usually it's under the teardowns, but they didn't do that here this time.
Okay.
And it's called Unweaving the Mystery.
Unweaving the Mystery, Apple's fine woven case. So they say they sold this. They said this thing is amazing. Okay. It doesn't. It's $60.
It's very. I mean,
Seems
that's the same price that they were charging, right, for the silicone. So that's
All Apple stuff is expensive. So here's 52x magnification. So these really are fine.
Now,
And each one is multiple fibers,
Yes.
like a rope.
yes, and if you, like me, are grossed out by human hair, just prepare yourself because there will be a human hair, and then that rod there, that black rod, is someone's human
That's
hair.
hair, and this is the nylon.
And see those thin threads that make up each of those weaves. And I think it says below, in the paragraph below, the average width of a human hair versus that. So yeah, 72 microns.
6 microns is a twelfth the width of a human hair. Wow. Groups of these fibers that make up the threads are 150 microns thick, which is like 2 hairs thick. I don't know. Very cool. This is the problem: is you get excited about this process, and you don't see the forest for the hairs. Is that, okay, fine, but it's a $60 case that plus it scratches. But now these scratches that you've been talking about, and by the way, I've seen pictures at the Apple Store of rows and rows of cases with these scratches on them.
Yeah.
But you're saying it's not breaking the fine woven.
Correct. If you scroll down,
It's just looking bad.
It's
But you can
basically
brush it?
rearranging those fibers.
But now I've screwed it my case up.
Oh no!
So you can brush it with a fine.
Yes, take a fine, not a fine tooth comb, but take a cloth and kind of run the cloth along there back and forth. Microfiber is what I'm talking about. Yeah, or something like that. And it should help to kind of rearrange the fibers, because essentially what it's doing is pushing them around. It's not working for you?
Let me take a hand. Oh, here's a what is this? This is like a shag carpet rug cloth. All right. Yeah, it's not fixing.
No?
No. Oh.
Oh, that's too bad.
I've ruined my case already. So it's just rearranging the fibers in so that it's reflecting the light differently. It's not, but it isn't aesthetically pleasing.
No, it's not. And that argument is incredibly legit. The people who've said it doesn't look good, no, I agree. It doesn't look good.
The Verge, the reviewer had the case that Nilay Patel had when he first got it. He scratched it. She says it's still scratched. I can't get rid of Nilay's paw prints on this. What else do I need? A toothbrush? Maybe if I use my Sonicare electric toothbrush. I'll bring it to Dr. Mike. Maybe Dr. Mike will have something at the dentist's office.
Spray it with this.
Yeah.
So there's one more photo I wanted you to see.
Yes.
If you scroll down once or past the key.
See, that's the problem right there. We're showing you the scratching.
The photo on the left is how the fibers look normally. The photo in the middle is taking a knife to the fibers.
Oh,
but
don't do that.
The photo on the right is what it looks like after a fingernail. So you can see it's kind of pushed those weaves, those individual threads to the side and kind of rearranged them. And that's what ends up making it look like it does because of how the light reflects.
So, by the way, that happens with leather too. I mean, we're not saying. So I usually use a leather case, and that's one of the things I like about leather. It gets a patina of wear after a while, but it is bad for the environment. Not just I saw a lot of people saying, "Well, yeah, cows are bad." It's not the cows. It's partly the cows, but they're going to be probably consumed in other ways. It's the tanning process is not very nice. So. But I imagine making all these nylon fibers isn't so good for the environment either. That's the problem with greenwashing, is that a lot of times the solution is not better. It just shifts the burden
to somewhere else. Yeah, they think, so they burned the material to try to determine what it was, and they think it's some sort of polyester, if I remember correctly.
It looks like nylon.
Based on the scent and the way that it burned.
And they tried to stain it as well with Cheeto fingers.
And the one thing that really did not go well, actually there were two things that didn't go well.
There's the Cheeto fingers. Ew.
So that's actually hot sauce. And the vinegar actually did damage to the threads. Whereas the other stuff, it just kind of sat on the threads. The vinegar and the hot sauce did damage. I have
already seen enough. Don't buy this case.
It. That's where
Under any circumstances, for $69, get a $7 plastic case. Will protect it as well. And after 8 months, it'll look a little yellow and you can get a new one. But don't. This is a ridiculous choice by Apple.
I think we're going to see a different thing going forward.
Yeah, fine woven my.
I mean, it's certainly fine and it's certainly woven, but fine woven, I don't know.
Was there any other news this week that we haven't covered? I mean, that Apple thing is a big deal. That we mentioned the watch, we mentioned the new phone.
Yeah, I would say.
Oh, I know. This is the big one, and I'm sure you'll be very interested in this. Tinder has now unveiled a new service, Tinder Select.
Okay.
So the Tinder, the high-end Tinder Plus, Tinder Platinum is $40 a month. So you pay $40 a month to look for swipe left, right, looking for a mate. Tinder Select is $500 a month.
What?
You must really want to get a date.
I'm sorry.
$500.
If my date tells me that they found me through Tinder Select, I am leaving. I don't want someone. I'm sorry.
I think that's the premise is you will only meet other people
who would pay $500.
Other suckers.
So you would meet other crypto bros is what you're saying.
I can't imagine.
This self-select.
There is this kind of notion. In fact, there are these special dating sites that, high worth individuals are somehow better than you and me.
Yeah. Well, the idea
I don't want them to reproduce.
I don't want somebody who's going to be into me only because of my money.
I don't want anybody poor.
That's what it really
because then I'll have to buy dinner every time.
I like that it's called Tinder Select because you self-select. That's what this is.
Yeah, self-select. Yeah, Tinder self-select. All right. There is, by the way, before we got the iPhones, and by the way, maybe this is what you forgot to do. You have to do 7.0.2.
Oh, I did that.
Not 0.1.
Do this, yes.
0.2, because there are 3 0 days that have been patched on your iPhone, on your Apple TV, on everything, on your Macs, everywhere.
Updated all, folks.
Update them all to, your latest, what is it, 13.6, 12.7, 16.7, 17.0.1, 17.0, 10.0.1, all of that. Get them all updated. And then I guess before you install your phone, do too. So that's funny. So you got a little notice that said, "Oh, you got a new phone, huh? That's nice. Would you like to join Tinder Select?" That's hysterical.
Oh wow! There's just I'm sorry. You're
still stuck on.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of Dr. I don't know if I want to read it out loud, but Dr. Mom had a really good note in the IRC. So if you're there, you can check that out.
She said stock up on ceftriaxone. Okay, I don't know what that means, but it's good to know.
But what is Tinder's? Why are they doing? I mean, I understand. It makes money.
Fascinated by this.
It makes money. I get, but
it's a VIP matching service.
Doesn't it push?
It's only available to a small number of highly active users.
Oh.
And will eventually be rolled out to a larger number of users.
Oh my goodness! So their top users are getting.
Yes.
Hey, pay us more money.
Yes.
Okay, this is sad. I think
you get access to VIP search and match and messaging options.
What does that? I wonder what that even means.
Well, if you have to ask.
Yeah, exactly. If you have,
then perhaps you $6,000 a year to get VIP search.
That is just wild to me. There it was. It was Jerry Rig Everything.
Yeah.
That's who did the glass back fracture.
I don't trust. I'm going to go. I know people love Jerry Rig and everybody else. I don't trust anything a YouTuber says, ever.
That's fair.
And I'll tell you why. because YouTube has strongly incented these people to do sensationalistic coverage. Often, as a result, you get stuff that isn't really reliable and trustworthy. Now, people might say, well, you're just jealous, Leo. Hell yeah. But, no. But honestly, I don't think that YouTubers, most of them don't have the same journalistic ethics or background. Even if they had the ethics, they don't have the understanding. And B, they're strongly incented by the way the YouTube algorithm works, same with TikTok, to do stuff that's sensationalistic. So I don't, honestly, people are constantly coming at us with, well, you know what they said on, I won't name names, but, and I say, well, fine, they said that, but that's not, it's not they have a different goal in mind. Our goal,
the goal
here is to inform you with the best factual information. So don't expect a lot of reporting on my shows anyway. You can do whatever you want, but on my shows anyway, from YouTube channels who I think, yeah, fine. That's a scientific drop test.
Right.
We now know for a fact. I don't buy it. But you see how it gets in the consciousness. People at some point just detach the source from the fact, and then everybody says, well, I saw somewhere, I can't remember, but it must be true because I keep seeing it.
And yeah, it happened. I had read it on 9to5 Mac, and they, for me, are a more trusted source. But now looking back at the article, this was just quoting from that video. Yeah.
So I love these videos, and I know you guys do, and you all watch them, but I'm not going to report stuff from those sources. Linus Tech Tip's gotten in big trouble because it's not right. So I'm just not going to do it anymore. So,
yeah, that's fair.
We'll look for reliable sources, and that's one of frankly, that's our job. Since we don't do a lot of reporting, I'm not going to drop my precious iPhone for nothing. So we have to go out and look at what other people are saying, and I trust iFixit, for instance.
Yes.
So we vet people, and we always have done that. We always will consider the source before we do it. So let's. I think we've wasted enough of your time. Who's coming up on the show today? Anthony Nielsen filling in for John Ashley.
Got a lot of callers.
But besides callers, do we have any?
Dickie D.
Dick DeBartolo.
At the top of the hour.
Mad's Maddest Writer coming up. We will get to our calls. We have lots of callers. Thank you all. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
But before we do that, I think it would be good to talk about ACI Learning. Our show today brought to you by those great folks at ACI Learning. You know the name IT Pro. They've been with us forever and ever, since they started 10 years ago. Well, they're now ACI Learning, and that is actually really good news. IT teams significantly benefit from the training offered by ACI Learning. ACI Learning has kept all the fun, all the personality of IT Pro TV, but now amplified with robust solutions for all your training needs. Let your team wants to learn, right? That's job one. These got to be good, informative, accurate videos. But isn't it nice if it can be engaging, if it can be entertaining? And one of the reasons it is because the trainers at ACI Learning, most of them from IT Pro, are so enthusiastic. They're so passionate about the products and about the subjects that comes through, and they share their enthusiasm and their passion with you, and that makes these fun. And that's why your team is going to love ACI Learning's training videos. Short form content, always 20 to 30 minutes, so easy to digest. I actually like that. You can only absorb a few facts at a time, right? So watch it, absorb it, and then maybe a few hours later, watch the next one. There's 72 hours to choose from. And that's not padded with extra stuff. That's all current content because they're operating all the time in their studios, 7 of them, where they're always creating new content because the tests change, the subject matter changes, there's new software, there's new certs. On-demand training that lets your team train the way it wants to. You already know the name IT Pro TV, now part of ACI Learning. IT Pro's expanded capabilities provide more support for IT teams, keeping their courses updated in every aspect, including MS Cloud, AWS, CompTIA, and more. One MSP, a proud tech team leader, said, I had 110 engineers. They were out in the field. Between us, we had dozens of IT Pro accounts. Last year alone, those 110 engineers passed over 40 certs. Wouldn't you like that for your team? Wouldn't they like it too? We know people like ACI Learning's videos. They have an 80% completion rate. That's 50% better than the industry average. Teams also love the practice labs. MSPs love these because you can test and experiment before you deploy new apps or updates without compromising the live system. Of course, it's also a great way to train because you have a Windows server, Windows clients. You can all operate from your HTML browser. Something goes wrong, you close the tab, no harm, no foul. ACI has practice exams too, so you can take the test before you take the test. There is no better way to prepare for a test than practice exams. So you've done it. By the time you're sitting down for the real thing, you're no longer nervous. You know what to expect. You know how to take the test. You know you can do it. That's a great feeling. ACI has a new, this is really cool, a new skills gap analysis tool. They call it Insights, that you can use with your team to identify weaknesses, gaps in their knowledge. So now, not only do you have the assessment, but you can then work with your team on professional development. Things like, you need to take course 38 and lesson 14 because you need to learn that one thing. It's that specific. You can identify skills gaps. Your team can be empowered. Plus, they're not taking training and stuff they already know. Right? That's just a waste of time for everyone. Personalize your training to protect your business. IT Pro TV now. ACI Learning keeps your business from risking redundancy by consistently offering the most up-to-date certs and courses available. You'll get a personal account manager to work with you to make sure you aren't wasting your time or anybody on your team's time. Make sure that the team focuses on skills that matter to your organization. No more redundant training. They're ISO certified, so you know you're getting the world-class training your team deserves. Keep your IT team up to speed. Visit go.acilearning.com/twit. Go.acilearning.com/twit. Because you're listening, you'll get a free trial and as much as 65% off an IT Pro Enterprise Solution Plan. The discount's based on the size of your team, so go fill out the form. You'll get a quote tailored to your needs at go.acilearning.com/twit. And individuals is 30% off for you. So go.acilearning.com/twit. All right. Let's do it. Let's take a call. Benito? Anybody over there? Hello? John Ashley's gone. Anthony Niels. Anthony.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Dr. Mom was the first one in with her hand raised.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Let's put on Dr. Mom. She tried to get in last week, and then we took so long she had to go.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Doctor in the Stargate, my personal internet physician, Dr. Mom.
Hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Lillian. How are you?
I'm fine.
I put up the picture of the needlework. When did you do that for me? Ages ago.
Ages ago. It was after you did that webinar and you got mad at one of the other hosts and told him, I'm not going to repeat the words, what he can do with himself.
Mike Arrington, screw you, that one?
Yes, I made you that after that.
You made that? That was way back in the cottage days.
That's why.
Yes,
wow.
It was things you could say on the air that the FCC wasn't going to get mad at you about.
Yeah, because it's a podcast. I could say anything I want. Isn't that nice? Not in a million years. Loser. Go fly a kite. Get bent. Where did you find that pattern?
And a designer called Raise the Roof Design. She went out of business, but she was known for doing designs like that.
That's so fantastic. I still have it, by the way. It's in my house, though. I put it on the door to my office.
Believe it or not, I have a question for you, something I don't know, and I need you to help me spend money.
Yes.
My old Pixelbook is finally dying. The battery's no longer holding a charge.
So
and I'm
sad.
noticing a little bulge in the keyboard, so I think it's just going.
Yeah. The battery's dead. Yeah.
And Google's not making Pixelbooks anymore. I need one for business. So it doesn't have to be a super high resolution screen, but I need a fast processor.
You want a Chromebook again?
Yeah. Because it's perfect for when I'm traveling and I have to access patient confidential information. Nothing is stored on it.
Oh, that's smart.
If I lose it, I send the wipe command to it. The second somebody else finds it, picks it up and turns it on, connects it to the internet, it's gone.
Yeah.
All my data's gone off it. So it's the best security choice.
First of all, Kevin Tofel's AboutChromebooks.com is a great place to go for reviews. He tries a lot of different Chromebooks. I know that he likes the Acer Chromebooks a lot. They have a wide range of choices depending on your budget, but he likes the Spin, which is their top of the line $700 Chromebook. A solid aluminum body. It has a Ryzen 5 processor, which is not, of course, top of the line, but you don't need that in a Chromebook. 8 gigs of memory, that's fine for a Chromebook, although you can get more, I believe, for a little bit more money. 120 gigs of storage. Nice 1080p screen. It's a touch screen. So I know that's one of the ones that he's for years recommended. And we've talked to a lot of people who really like the Acer Chromebook Spin.
We'll take a look at it then.
Yeah, the problem is nothing is as good as the Pixelbook. Google made those and they were $1,000, right? The price was no object. They had a real Intel processor. They had a lot of RAM. My daughter still uses hers. It still works, but in March, it's going to expire. It's going to run out of runway. That's why I was very glad to learn, and I'm sure you probably heard us talk about it, that Google, with going forward with all new Chromebooks, whoever you buy it from, you're going to get 10 years. And that's because schools were complaining that after 6 years, their Chromebooks weren't getting security updates. And what are we going to do with this thing? So now it's 10 years, which I think is plenty of, that's a good thing for support.
To me, the Chromebook is the ideal travel laptop because if something happens to it, you lose it. You can secure the information. You can just get it off.
There is the thing that's closest to the Pixelbook is from Framework. Now, we've talked about Framework before. They're the ones that let you do it yourself and replace pieces. I love my Framework laptop. In fact, I just ordered the 15-inch or the 16-inch that will be coming out soon. And these are nice because they are hardware upgradable. Unclear about the Chromebook. It's basically the same Framework laptop. So they have a really nice 3x2 screen, which I prefer, frankly. Very good keyboard and trackpad, but it's $1,000. So it really is going to depend on, what your price point is. You can configure this as you would like. One of the things Framework does is it lets you have different expansion cards, so you can have a DisplayPort or HDMI. You can even have Ethernet. I don't think anybody makes a Chromebook with Ethernet, so that's nice. You can also expand storage if you want. So I love these because these parts are replaceable. But it's unclear on the Framework, on the regular Framework Windows laptops, or I guess I should say PCs because I run Linux on mine. You can actually even replace the motherboard when a new microprocessor comes out. You can upgrade it, things like that. They've stood by that promise. $1,000 is a lot for a Chromebook. You're going to get a 12th generation Intel processor. That's probably the fastest processor anybody puts in a Chromebook.
I'm not concerned with the speed because I'm not doing graphics on it. I'm accessing databases and such.
Right.
So I don't need the super high speed or the super high quality graphics processor. I just need a good, solid, workhorse.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if price is an issue, Acer has a full range. Their aluminum body, which is nice. If you want to get probably the best Chromebook out there, I'd say Framework. I really like what Framework's doing. And
I'll take a look at it.
I have a Framework laptop, but it's a lot of money. It's a little bit expensive. Does somebody Joe, you have one? Somebody in our IRC, I think, says he has one of the Framework Chromebook. He says he likes it. It's nice.
I'll go take a look at it. It's just, I loved that Pixelbook. It was wonderful. And when it started to go, I go back on Google. They're not making them anymore.
No. And that was a great laptop. My daughter's still using it. She loves it. I gave her a Mac. She said, no, I like the Pixelbook. So,
and it's so easy. I'm going to plug in the new one, sign into it, and everything I had on the old one's just going to pop right over.
Yeah.
It's a really
Joe
easy
does not have
transfer.
the Chromebook version. He has the regular PC Framework. I have a Framework as well, so I agree with you, Joe. Those are very nice. I mean, what's unclear is because Google has to certify it as a Chromebook, even though technically that would be upgradable, and I guess if you wanted to make it a PC, then you don't have to think about that. It's really unclear what they've done with these Chromebooks, how locked down they are and so forth. And I think some of that's just Google's requirements. Of course, Google does make the Pixelbook Go. I'm not underwhelmed by that.
I took a look at it and I said, that's not what I need. A good solid keyboard. I need a good processor to deal with databases.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ethernet port would be nice, but I have a USB Ethernet adapter.
So you don't care.
And I just plug that in. As long as I've got
Acer is really in this business for the long haul. If upgradability and replaceability is not an issue, frameworks are super repairable, but you pay the price for it.
Right. Now, question: what did you think of the new Amazon Alexa things they announced?
Well,
you weren't invited to the event, were you?
No, I watched the YouTube. Yeah. So much of it's vaporware. I mean, it's
exactly. This was the first year. I talked about this a little bit on Tech News Weekly. One of the things that I did like about this is the company didn't do what they normally do with announcing a bunch of ways to beta test by selling products to people. They have done that way too much, and I think that it is dishonest. I mean, to be frank, it's honest in that they're saying, hey, this is a beta test, but there's a little bit of dishonesty in the practice of making people buy your product and then asking for you to say what's wrong with it. And they've done that so much with these spaghetti projects that end up the product just stops working, or if it works at a much less useful way. So I was happy to see a little bit more focus this time. And I am curious to see the impact that the generative AI with the large language models is going to have on ALEXA's ability to understand our intent. That could end up seeing me using a voice OS again for the first time in a long time, because up to this point, that stuff just continues to disappoint me.
So this is something, by the way, Google's going to do with Google Assistant. The rumors are Apple's working on an LLM to enhance Siri with. Did Amazon say when they're going to add AI to Echo?
No, it's going to be rolling out. I signed up for the early. Remember, that's how I got an Amazon. You know what? I think 6 months before you did, because I hit the lottery with getting an early access to the old Pringles can one.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they're moving with some of the screen ones to be able to control it with eye motion and such, which is really important for people with disabilities. That to me is important, but I have to see it rolling out. But to me, it's like the newly announced Eero. They don't have FCC approval for it.
You're kidding. I didn't.
No.
Wow.
They said flat out.
This is the Wi-Fi 7 version of the Eero.
The Wi-Fi 7, they do not have. I'm assuming FCC approval is going to come unless they did something very strange. And the hub, to me, is disappointing because they left out Z-Wave.
Yeah, they should have. I agree. They should have continued with the protocols that are already there, just as a background.
They're going with Thread and Matter as opposed to Z-Wave.
They went with Thread. They went with Matter. But I don't know if you've ever noticed, Zigbee has a tendency to sit on top of your Wi-Fi networks.
Right. Yes.
It uses, and so I have a smart home where you walk into rooms, lights turn on, off, all sorts of things. My cat litter box, the second the cat gets out of it, a fan turns on in the room for 10 minutes to vent the room out. Everything is either Wi-Fi or Z-Wave. I do not use Zigbee because I had a couple of them and it just messed up with the Wi-Fi. Mm-hmm. They kept colliding with each other.
I will be very interested to see what happens. As you know, the current guy running the division is leaving, and Panos Panay is moving over from Microsoft to run that Echo division and the hardware devices division. So that's another big question mark. What will Panos do when he gets in there? Will he change everything around? I think that's one of the reasons Amazon is a little hesitant to actually announce these products or to ship these products.
Well, they had one, I think, my gut feeling is they should have announced it later in the year for the holiday presents. They have their version of these tiny Echo Dot with a screen for kids.
To market Disney to kids, right?
Right. But I'm saying it's a kid's designed Echo device. But if you look at all this, they say if you want to use Z-Wave, you got to put another hub on it.
Yeah.
Then what do I need this for?
Yeah. As you know, Amazon admitted that they lose billions of dollars every year running the Echo service because it didn't pan out that people bought stuff with it. So I think the whole thing is you got a new leader coming in. There were rumors that perhaps they would start charging for use of Echo. My concern about adding a large language model AI to this or any of these voice assistants is they're going to get gabby. And I don't want that.
So this is what I hope happens, and what it appears is happening, and it's something that I think I first heard about Apple doing this, and it seems like the other companies are catching on, because we had Google and Microsoft who rolled out a chatbot. And what comes with that are a whole host of issues where the chatbot does something that you don't expect, and then you have to explain why your company is saying that, some lunar landing module happened that didn't actually happen, right? But what Amazon appears to be doing is something that Apple reportedly told is doing internally, and that is using the large language models not as a way to create a chatbot, but as a way to make it so that what we tell the system to do, the system can understand. So it is processing our language and then turning it into computer instruction. And then it is my understanding that outside of the work that they're doing on the voice of the assistant to kind of make it feel more engaging and less robotic, that it is still going to be doing the normal stuff that it's done thus far, but it'll finally be able to understand, and I don't have to talk to it in its specific diction, so to speak, because I don't think it goes as far as dialect.
I have 2 grandchildren, a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I find it understands them very well. And if you've ever talked to a 3-year-old, even though he's a very verbal 3-year-old, it tends to be, yeah, Grandma, Hunty wants to do this. In other words, they don't speak adult English, and I find it's pretty good. They can control it.
Yeah.
So they put stuff on it like you're now going to be able to email things, send emails to it with your calendar. It's going to add it to a calendar and inform people and stuff. But it surprised me how much of this was vaporware. This was like, we don't have approval. We don't have it yet.
Yeah.
This is what we're thinking about.
Yeah, it's also they have a problem, which is it's a money-losing division, and they what else are you going to add to this? So,
I don't know if you saw, the Guard is now going to Guard Plus, and you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
The old security where it would listen if you heard glass breaking in the house, it would let you know.
I think we're going to see more and more of that as they try to monetize.
Yeah, and they're supposedly going to map your house to control it. I don't know how they want to do that if you only have one in the house, unless they're going to look at every smart device and say you got a
Roomba, and then when everything's smart. I don't know. I'm less and less impressed by all of these devices. My mom has an Echo, and we set it up for her, and that way we can call. She can ask it to remind her of things. It's those simple, useful tools are probably all you need to put in one of these things. I don't know how much smarter you want it to be honest.
My daughter I got her one when I traded in a bunch of old ones at some credit, and I got her a 15, and they use it for the family whiteboard. In other words, put on kids' gymnastic thing. Yeah. Put on, and there's a button there the boys can use to say, we need to call mom if she's not home, and they'll tap on it.
Oh, I tried like the Dickens to get everybody in the family to go, Echo, add mayonnaise to my shopping list, which it does very well. And we have that sticky note printer, which will print the shopping list with little check boxes and all that stuff. Well, they did it for a couple of times, and now they're back to writing it on a piece of paper, which is hanging next to the refrigerator, and it works, and they're happy with it. When they want to go to the store, they tear it off, they put it in their pocket, and they go.
Right.
And I think what's happening is people are just going, that was a gimmicky, that was cool, but except for people, early adopters like us, the three of us, I don't know if this is going to take the world by storm. And then there's this additional issue where do you want a microphone in your house listening to you that's run by some big tech company?
Right.
Yeah, when despite my knowledge of how the tech works and knowing with certainty about it not listening to you at all times, or at least not collecting information.
We know it's not.
Right. My partner's family, when they come over to our place, I unplug everything because they are uncomfortable being at home with it.
I think we're about to see a big techlash. People are done with subscriptions. They're tired of, nickeling and diming me to death. They're done with these big tech things that they have to spend a lot of brain cycles not only to figure out but to maintain and keep operating. I suspect a lot of people are going to start ripping this stuff out of the house, putting it on the curb, and saying, let's go back to the old way of doing things. That's just because I'm an old guy, but I really think people are kind of fed up with the promise big tech has given.
I went over a lot of this stuff. Most of the thing I use my smart home for now, like I said, The cat sandbox is in a small room that has a ceiling fan, venting. And second, that sees motion in there. A motion detector turns fan on for 10 minutes.
Yeah, but you're a geek. No one else in the world is going to do that.
The other things, I have a refrigerator in the garage. I have an open and close sensor on it. If it doesn't close properly or it's left open,
that's good.
I get a notification. I mean, to me, that's useful tech. Or like the patients I deal with who have physical disabilities, where they can voice unlock the door instead of having to hand out.
Yes. People with disabilities love the echoes, and for a lot of different reasons. That makes sense.
That's why I like where they're going to do it where they can track the eyes better, and you're going to be able to command it with the eyes, because you have people who are quadriplegic.
Right.
And
no, that's a very good point.
Understands the voice fine, but if it can track the eye movements and sit there and say, okay, I'm looking up this way, turn on that light. Right. That's a huge plus for these people.
Right. Dr. Mom, is that an operating room light you have over your head there? Are you in an ER right now?
No, it is a magnifier because
for needlework.
I'm going to make Mikah happy. I am knitting a lace shawl.
Oh, and the green. That's such a pretty green.
Very pretty.
Yeah, it's color stripes in
I love it.
Dr. Mom, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you for your call.
She's our echo expert. We appreciate it.
If I ever get my hands on any of these pieces of vaporware, I'll let you know.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, I love your reviews. So when you do, let us know, please.
You got it.
Thanks, Dr. Mom.
Thanks.
Take
care.
Thanks. I'm about to go buy a Chromebook now.
Yeah.
Woo,
go buy a nice Chromebook. Let us, give us a review once you get it.
Will do. Okay, bye.
Dick DeBartolo, Mad's Maddest Writer, just around the corner with his gizmo or a gadget of the week. In just a bit. Mikah Sargent, Leo Laporte, you're listening or watching Ask the Tech Guys.
Hey there, folks. Get ready for the Backbeat Media Podcast Network, your new go-to place for top-notch podcasting fun. You're an Apple fanboy or fangirl? We've got you covered with the Cultcast, delivering all the iNews you could ever want. More of a literature lover? Bookworm is going to rock your world. Got a thing for theater? Broadway radio is going to hit you right in the feels, while Mac Geek Gab and MacCast are here to feed all your tech cravings. Punk rock your vibe? You're going to vibe so hard with Jughead's Basement. And for all the dinosaur nerds out there, I know Dino is basically your spirit animal. But hold up, all about that mental health, pop culture, and tech life, Christina Warren and Brett Terpstra are serving up your weekly dose. Love a good flying tale? Fig and Repeat are about to take your imagination to new heights. And hey, to all you small business gurus out there, Dave Hamilton and Shannon Jean are dropping knowledge bombs every week. Backbeat Media Podcast Network, folks. It's where your passions come alive and there's never a dull moment. Hit up backbeatmedia.com and get ready to binge.
Texas cops searching for brisket bandit who strolled out of Walmart with over $200 worth of meat.
Sorry, did you say Walmart?
Walmart.
Okay, because I thought maybe there's a different place I don't know about.
Okay. A, Texas. You want to have a nice barbecue? Don't get your brisket at Walmart.
Amen.
What are you doing? I mean, what are you doing, Di? Mr. Dick DeBartolo, Mad's Maddest Writer, and our Gizmo Wizard. Whoops.
Oh. Hip.
Whoop.
Gizmo.
Are you there, Dickie? I thought I heard his voice.
I am.
Whoa. He's here. Tell us.
I'm here, and I have a very weird screen coming back from you. I'm seeing 10 different screens.
Oh, that's cool. What about now? Still 10?
Yeah.
Dick, just close your eyes when you talk to us. That's okay. We see you.
We do see
That's
you.
all that matters.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Okay, I see you, but you're this big.
We don't know. We don't.
But in my heart, you're way bigger than that.
Tell me, now you've been into technology going way, way back. You got the first answering machine, right? You and Bill Gaines.
with reels.
With reels.
Yes.
So you have been a fan of this stuff. Do you think I'm off base when I say there's going to be a backlash? People are going to get like this stuff's crap. Get it out of the house. We're done with it. We were sold a bill of goods by big tech. It doesn't work. We don't like it. Do you ever get to that point?
I am to the point where things are just too complicated.
Yeah. And it's not age. They're too complicated.
Yeah. One of the funny stories I saw was at CES. One year, I forgot the company. You went up to the trash can, and it opened automatically because it's so. You put your hand like that.
Yeah.
and it opened. And I thought, oh, this is good. You approach it, your hands are full. And the following year, he said, Dick, you like that? I know you did a review and you said you liked it. We have the automatic paper roll dispenser now.
Come on.
So I said, okay. So I walk up to it. I said, well, it hasn't done anything. I said, go to the menu.
No.
Do you want one sheet or two sheets?
Great. Just what we need. No, you just go, rip.
Yeah, exactly.
Stacey Higginbotham has a faucet that you put a glass there, say, give me 5 ounces of water, and it will go for 5 ounces. It's like, come on, man. I think we're going to see a kind of a swing of the pendulum in the other direction. They've gone too far.
Yeah. Importantly, I think because if you hear what you're saying out of context, it could give the impression that you're saying that all of the technology is going to go on the sidewalk. But what you're saying is this technology that is sort of newer and is trying to solve problems we don't have.
That's
Echoes, those are.
They're trying to continue to expand at the rate that they were expanding and make more and more and more money. And where does that money come from? Out of our pockets for products of dubious merit.
I will say one of the newer sort of gimmicky things, I do like my robo vacuum. That I don't have to vacuum my floors is quite nice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, that makes sense.
And of course, we look at the accessibility angle there as well.
Accessibility is a different matter. And Mom was right to bring that up. If you're disabled or you have a disability in some form or fashion, these tools can be very handy.
Yeah.
But that's a specialized market. I don't think the general. I think the general market. And look, I'm going to do TWiT Unplugged in about a year, and we're gonna get rid of all the stuff, and I'll just shout.
Oh, okay.
And anybody within the sound of my voice, you'll be able to hear the show.
Extra. Yeah.
We had a Roomba, and I got the idea, but we still had to vacuum. Like the Roomba would vacuum, but we still had to vacuum.
It didn't do a good enough job, yeah.
And it's like, well, if I still have to vacuum, what do I need this thing? What?
Right.
And it would wake up in the middle of the night. I've told this story before. It would go, and then there was a hutch in the living room that was just a little too small, and it would go under it and then get stuck and go bonk, bonk, bonk at 3 in the morning, bonk, bonk. Finally, I just took it out and I put it under the wheel of Lisa's car out in the garage. But unfortunately, she saw it before she crushed it. But I think she got the message because the Roomba is gone.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh,
anyway,
my.
Dick, give us a gadget that we'll be putting on the doorstep.
Okay, so there were 2 events earlier this month with announcing gadgets, well, mainly toys, they expect to be big at Christmas.
Nice. It's time.
Yes, as you would
we've been putting up Halloween. We've been putting up Halloween decorations.
Like Halloween.
It seems like we just took them down. Okay.
Yeah, it's fall, folks. It's fall. So no surprise, there is a lot of Barbie stuff on the list.
Everything's pink these days, isn't it?
Yes. All right. So the Barbie Dream House 2022.
It's smaller than it's bigger than a small child. This thing is grown.
Yes. This thing is almost 1.5 feet wide.
It's huge.
Deep. It's 5 feet long and it's almost 4 feet high.
It's bigger than some apartments I've had.
Yes.
I am living in that.
It's got a slide.
Yes, exactly.
It is a dream house.
Well, that's true.
It has integrated lighting and it has an elevator.
You know what it doesn't have?
Echoes.
Dolls not included.
Oh.
You are absolutely
There's
right.
no dolls.
Absolutely. There are no dolls. It comes with a doggy. Okay, but no dog. But it has sound effects. The microwave makes a noise, and the bell rings when it's ready, and the toilet flushes.
I'm sorry.
It's kind of fun.
Just sound, not. I would have
know?
been the kid disappointed that you couldn't put water in it and make it actually.
You know how many
flush.
plastic bags you could make from each and every one of these Barbie dream houses?
Maybe it is made from plastic bags.
Oh, maybe it is.
It could be. It could be.
It's
It could be.
As long as it's not virgin plastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then something I thought Mattel would never agree to, and even in their commercials, they don't show it happening, is there's something new called the Barbie Pop Reveal Fruit Series doll.
That's a
What
long
the hell's
name.
that?
Yes. Even in the photo they provided, the doll's not in there.
Doll's not included.
The doll goes into a glass. You get a straw.
Yeah.
When you pop the straw through,
the
Barbie doll gets slimed. Okay?
Excuse me?
Yes.
So many surprises.
Yes. Now you'll see, they show you the doll. They show you the slime. They do not show you
the doll in the slime.
Yes. And when I was at the show, the woman said, "I'm going to do a clean demo for you." And I thought, what is this, nude Barbie? What is she talking about?
Clean demo.
A clean demo was not to pop the slime to spill on the doll. Okay.
So, can they drink? Does the cup become a normal cup that you can drink out of after?
No, you've got slime in it.
Well, you can wash it, right?
And there you can wash it off. Barbie changes colors with the slime. There are other little toys in the bottle.
What Mattel has realized is if they do an ad on children for children, that they will pester their parents endlessly until they buy them this piece
Barbie
of
Pop Reveal
crap.
Fruit Series doll. Barbie Pop Reveal Fruit Series doll.
And then 3 days later, it's
done.
Why don't you play with that slime ball thing I bought you at great expense? Oh, it's terrible.
Finally from Barbie, Barbie Monopoly.
Well, now you're talking.
Okay. So I love it. Be anything you want to be, as long as it's one of the 6 occupations that we have cards for in this game. So she has her own money. And the funny thing about it is the 4 corners are the original 4 corners of all of us who have played Monopoly. The get out of jail free card. I forgot what the
Barbie
other corners
jail
are.
is not like Rikers Island. I mean, it's a nice jail.
If you go to Barbie jail,
it's pink.
You get slimed.
You are lucky if you can get in there. Okay?
Yeah, I want to go to Barbie jail.
Yeah. And then the other thing.
I love the cards. You have some examples of the. I guess they don't call them chance and community chest anymore.
Oh no, I think they're big dream. What
Dream
is it
closet and dream career.
Yes. And that's kind of interesting that they equate that, isn't it? Do you want a dream career or would you prefer a dream closet?
And you have on your page at GizWizzed Up as an example of one of these cards, your mic goes out during your sold-out Dream Pink concert. Go to jail. What? That's not illegal.
Because my mic went out?
My mic went out?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, all right. So who is this aimed at young girls? Is that really?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you know what? First of all, I love the movie, and I thought I can't imagine the meetings that went on between Mattel and the people who wrote the movie.
Do they license this stuff, you think?
You know what? Mattel sales. I've got this little report from one of the. Yes, they have gone up 25% since the movie opened.
Even Justine, speaking of YouTube stars, is wearing pink now, and she's selling pink USB cables on her site.
After I spent so much money on the green cables for the Mutant Turtles that I thought was going to be a big hit.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. And then one other thing, and this might be good. It's Hot Wheels Rift Rally. Okay, so it's not like the old-fashioned Hot Wheels. It's from Hasbro, which is now part of Mattel, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the car has an HD camera in it, and it comes with these gates, and then it's mixed reality. You race the car, but on your.
That's kind of cool.
Yes, on your. Let me see.
So
what
you
it
put
works
on a
with.
helmet, and you're seeing the car's POV.
No, you'll just see it. You'll just see it on your screen.
Oh,
it also works. Yeah,
okay.
It works with the PlayStation, the iPhone, or the iPad, or there's HDMI out if you want to run
You
it
might
up
have to get this, Mike.
That's kind of cool.
You know, I think what I like about it is when you see the commercials, you see cars sort of sparking and doing that. And then when you get the real cars at home, they don't do any of that. Now, when you play at home, on your screen, the wheels are sparking.
Ah.
Right. And you see a living room, but there's another reality over your living room.
Okay, so it's like an AR experience.
That's exactly what it is. And if you want, you can hit a game where monsters will come down and try and grab your car.
Oh, this sounds fun.
I think this is going to be a big hit for them.
It's not. Is it expensive?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I don't know what you call expensive. It's $129 for the regular kit, and there's a special kit for $149 that has a customized Hot Wheels in a little case.
Huh.
And they think it was a big deal. I don't know the company. It's Volan Studios. Evidently, they make a lot of video games, so they did the.
This is pretty cool.
Software.
This is cool. I could, this I could get into.
Mixed reality gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, let's see.
That's Hot Wheels Rift
We're going
Rally.
to look at the commercial here.
Oh, okay, good.
So we can see the sparking happening.
Yeah.
So you put it on you have a PlayStation, so you can put it on your big screen TV. Use your PlayStation controllers to drive it. So it's a video game, but there's actual vehicles that you're driving around the house.
Yes.
That's kinda nice.
Yes.
I like that.
It's kind of neat, isn't it?
Yeah. I can
And then
see
they
kids
add
getting into this.
that sparking stuff
Yeah.
on your screen.
Yeah,
I think
because
it's pretty neat.
on the screen it looks like a video game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except there's little. I guess you could get rid of the cars.
And then you can really scare the cat.
Yeah, the cat's going.
Yeah, or race your rumba. See how that
there
works?
you go.
That's kind of cool, and you can design your own vehicle.
Okay, and so in
it's really
the
a video
view,
game is what it is.
It's putting the car in front of the car you're actually driving around.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
And you customize the car. There are 140 ways to skin it or do whatever you want with it. So
that's very interesting.
So those are expected to be big for the holidays.
Oh yeah, I think this might be for a lot of people, and of course Barbie. It's going to be a Barbie Halloween too.
Yes, absolutely.
That's true.
Yeah, that's going to be pink everywhere the eye can see. Are you gonna? You're wearing your lumberjack shirt. Are you gonna? Do you have a Barbie shirt of some kind? You could.
No pink flannel.
No.
We might have to get you some.
Oh, okay. Are you guys retailing that on the side?
Maybe that's our new thing. Yeah.
Ask the pink guys.
Okay.
We should. I have mentioned because you weren't here when he was here last. But Mikah, he showed us the double bubble blast.
Oh, no. You're going to make me spend more money?
Yes, because I know you love the bubbles.
Yes.
My niece is the biggest bubble fanatic.
Oh, you check that out. And if it's still available, they were closing them out, I think, for $20.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good. Because
it's twin motors, and it takes the whole bottle of bubble solution inside with a little drop-in plastic tube, so you can just go out and
you can just keep going. Oh, yeah.
Keep going. Yeah,
might have to do that too. I got her one of those. You showed those really great toys. There were, I think, 3 that were like STEM toys, where they both worked as kind of a little car.
Oh, yeah, so like a truck, but it was also binoculars.
A bunch of tools, yeah. She likes water, so I got her the water one where you can look underneath the water with it, and she loved that. So
that's neat.
That's great. Yeah. That's great.
Dickie D, go to gizwiz.biz. That's the website. Click the button that says the GizWiz visits the tech guys, and you can see links to all of these fabulous products. He's also got a button for his appearances on World News Now and ABC, and the What the Heck Is It contest. It ends end of October.
Don't look too closely. It'll hypnotize you.
Wow, it's like an optical illusion monocle or something. What could that be? Why don't you check? Oh, are you giving us a hint? It's a Halloween-y kind of a thing?
No, but I was just thinking it fits in with Halloween.
It does. You have till Halloween to identify this. There's up to 18 autographed copies of Mad Magazine for the winners, 6 for the correct answer, up to 12 for the cutest wrong answer. And judges' decisions are final. All of that is at gizwiz.biz. Gizwiz.tv for Dick's weekly GizWiz show that he does with Chad Johnson. Thank you, Dickie D.
Thank you. You guys are great. Thanks so much.
We'll see you in a month.
See you next month. Okay,
Take care.
bye. Okay, bye.
Pink flannel.
Pink flannel. Just think pink.
Just think pink.
Everything pink. Are you going to do something for Halloween? Do you dress up?
Sometimes I do. I might do something this year because I have something that I could do Whereas last year I didn't do anything because I just didn't get it done in time.
I think with that haircut, you could be Barack Obama. Just go around. America.
What we have today.
Very good. I think you're good. I think you got it. All right, Anthony, give us a call. What do you say?
Wireless caller.
How about a wireless caller?
Wireless caller.
On the phone. Now, they press *6 as soon as we bring you into the Zoom room, and that will unmute. *6 will unmute, and you can say, hello, our caller. Hello, caller.
What has happened to your little models?
Oh, they got, wow,
And
they were
one's
doing
on the
some
floor.
sort of weird. Oh, my goodness. The little Leo's got knocked down.
Hi, Leo.
Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, is it me you're hearing?
Yes, it's you you're hearing.
Oh, excellent. My name's Kevin. I'm in Colorado.
Hi, Colorado, Kevin.
And,
thanks for calling.
First-time caller.
Oh, welcome.
Play the trumpets. We love that.
you.
Welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. So my buddy says because my wife and I don't have kids that I get obsessed about other stupid things and get really irritated about, crazy things. But I don't see why the whole world is not irritated about this one. What is the deal with the iPhone when I can be driving down the road with my earbuds in and talking on the phone, and my wife drives up next to me, and all of a sudden the phone connects to the car, and she's talking to the person I'm just talking to.
First of all, I love the idea that the two of you go cruising in your own vehicles enough, like near each other, that this is a problem, and that it hasn't only happened once in your life. This is just a great. Let's go for a cruise in separate cars. But yeah, I think it kind of speaks to the quality of the Bluetooth radio in the iPhone, because I was just thinking about how I can have my iPhone all the way upstairs on the third floor. It sounds swanky. It's not. It's a shoebox, but on the third floor of where I live, and then I can be all the way down in the garage still listening to my audiobooks, no problem.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, the Bluetooth is quite powerful.
So it is very good.
She must have paired at some point. At some point she must have paired her AirPods to your phone, right?
Well, yeah, it is paired because we share the car. But same thing happens if I'm mowing the grass and I have my earbuds in, and then I get too close to the house, and all of a sudden something else decides to attach.
It's a convenience.
It's like this
is for your convenience.
Stay, right.
So here's what you need to do.
Just stay on what it's paired to.
Right, because basically what's happening is it's an auto pairing feature. So the second the device, whatever it happens to be, it's not the iPhone that's doing this. It's the car or the other Bluetooth device. Those devices are set to auto pair. And so the second that they hear the connection, they see the connection, so to speak, of your iPhone, the Bluetooth radio is within range, then it does an auto pairing process. So what you need to do is, if the device supports it, and this is the problem, is that some don't have the little toggle turned on in the Bluetooth profile that lets you turn this off. But if you can find it, oftentimes cars at the very least will have this in their settings. Just turn off the auto pairing feature. And then what that does is, even if it sees that there's a Bluetooth radio nearby, it won't automatically pair, but you can still pair with you in control of it by going into the Bluetooth settings and pairing it. Now, again, I can't speak for something like an inexpensive shower speaker or something like that. They often don't give you access to turn off auto pairing. So you might have to move those in-house speakers across the way or something while you're mowing. But in terms of the car, I feel pretty good about saying that the vehicle probably has the ability to turn that off. Sometimes it's named different. It could be called Auto Connect. It could be called Auto Pairing. They all have different names. But I would just even just looking up your car's model and typing in Auto Pair would hopefully give you the ability to not have that happen. But yeah, it does. It speaks to the strength of that Bluetooth signal, at least.
Yeah, this is a very common issue, and it does seem to be, I have to say, yes, it's those devices, but it does seem to happen more with Apple stuff. And I think it's because
that's what I see
they
too.
want it to be easy to use, right? So they want it to be more aggressive. In fact, I remember they did an update on the AirPods, a firmware update on the AirPods, and one of the things they said was, makes it even easier to switch devices. And I thought, well, is that solving a problem that people have, or is it making it too easy? Is there a way to stop them from being so I don't think so. I think that's in the nature of their business.
I just want it to be whenever I get it paired up to something, I want it to stay there.
Yeah.
Until, I stop that. So
yeah, I mean,
and in fact, being on hold for this call, and the thing is disconnected 3 times and paired it to my headset from my phone.
Is there any way to make that?
Again,
switch it back.
The only way I know how to do that is from the other device's side to turn off auto pairing. I can't. I don't know of any other way. Because it's simply just that device communicates with the Bluetooth radio and says, "Oh, I see that you are available. Let me connect to you," and then it does it. And so it's just being kind of ham-fisted, I guess. But outside of that, I don't. Yeah, the iPhone itself doesn't have a setting that says never connect to anything else, other than I don't know, buying USB-C to headphone jack adapter and just plugging in headphones.
Do other Bluetooth? I almost always just use AirPods, but do other Bluetooth devices, like if I had somebody else's earbuds, would they have the same?
If I am in, we have a tandem garage, which means that one car drives in and the other one drives in. There's not space for 2. Again, Shoebox. And so
that's what they call it, a tandem garage.
Yeah,
I like it.
So one person has to back out if the person, and so I will go to my car, and if I'm listening to something with my AirPods, the moment I turn on my car and the CarPlay system gets up and running, it's going to switch to that. And I've had issues before where I sat in my car and was trying to just do a call from my AirPods, but then my car ended up taking over. So it switches over. But the same thing applies if I am listening to something just playing out of the speakers of my iPhone, and then I turn on the Ultimate Ears Boom speaker that I use. The moment that the Ultimate Ears Boom speaker senses the Bluetooth radio,
so it's doing the same thing.
It just changes to that.
It's not just Apple stuff.
Yeah.
It may be a failure in the way Bluetooth works.
Yeah,
I agree with.
It's just overly. Yeah, what's what you're saying. It does it too much, and you kind of wish it would be worse at it.
Stick with what you got, unless I specifically say it's time to move over.
Well, what I read online is that people with Android phones don't have this problem, but people with Apple phones are pretty vocal, like I am about.
Yeah,
I would have to test that.
So that's why I was hoping it'd be something.
I'm dubious.
Yeah, I haven't tested that myself. I hear you.
I will have to test that a little bit more. But one thing you can do, it's not convenient, but it would keep this from happening, is every time you're done using the device, you completely remove the pairing. Yeah. Yeah, that will do it. It's not great, but that'll do it.
Yeah, that seems.
Gotcha.
Maybe Apple.
Thanks,
we can
guys.
get Apple to work on this. There should be like a button that says
stay.
Stick.
Yeah,
stay right
like
there.
Pin your Bluetooth.
Sorry, we weren't much help, but I hope you'll call again.
I'm gonna
thank you very much.
test this out with the Pixel.
Appreciate you listening. Yeah, that's an interesting question. Does it happen with other devices? I feel like Apple's stuff is more promiscuous.
It might be.
Yeah. And I think it comes from Apple's kind of philosophy that it should just work. Mm-hmm. So we're going to try to figure out what you're doing.
I really am going to test this to see, though, because this feels anecdotal so far, and I don't.
There's also should be maybe a way.
True determination.
I don't know. It'd be nice if you just had a button that says, "Stay here, stay."
That really would be nice.
Sit,
Ubu.
Do not move on. All right, time for another. Should we do a voicemail? We haven't done one of those in a while. I know you've got them racked up. Sure. Let's play a voicemail.
My name is Mark. I'm in New Haven, Connecticut.
Hi, Mark.
Hello, Mark.
I have a question about Ubiquiti access points. I understand you have Ubiquiti in your house, and I was wondering if you could help.
Yes.
I just upgraded to the U6 Enterprise AP, and I can't get my brand new iPad Pro 5th generation to connect to the 6 gigahertz band. I was wondering if you could help. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, Mark has these new U6 devices, which are Wi-Fi 6, which means they have not only 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz, but they now have 6 gigahertz. But your iPad does not have 6 gigahertz.
I think so.
So that's why. It's actually a really simple answer is this Wi-Fi 6 is so new, very few devices support it. And I don't even know if any iPads support it. Maybe the new iPhone, the iPhone 15, I think, has the latest.
I'm looking at connectivity for the Wi-Fi. No, it's Wi-Fi 6E, so that's still not.
Yeah, 6E is the 6 gigahertz. That's right.
Oh, it is. Well, then, yeah, the most recent iPad Pro supports Wi-Fi 6E.
Well, it should work. Why would it not? If you that's the thing, is check the specs. He said what model was, and I couldn't.
Yeah, it's the Ubiquiti U6 Enterprise.
No, which iPad model?
Oh, I think he said just the most recent iPad Pro. Excuse me.
The most recent iPad Pro is from 2022, 2021. It's pretty old.
It does have Wi-Fi 6E, though, according to the tech specs.
Okay. In which case, I don't have an answer for him. As long as it's capable of that. Let's see. iPhone Wi-Fi specs. This is for the iPhone. It also does what's called 802.11ax.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, remember, the higher the frequency on these Wi-Fi access points, the higher the frequency, the easier it is to block. So 2.4 goes the farthest. That's the original Wi-Fi. And then they came out with 5 gigahertz, which we often recommended because it doesn't really go through walls very well. So you're much less likely to have interference with neighbors. 6 is going to be even worse because it's such a high frequency at 6 gigahertz. You should see if you can pair the iPad when it's next to the access point.
Mm-hmm.
If it's next to the access point and it still can't pair, then I don't know. But if it's in another room, that could very well be why. And you probably shouldn't. Now, the good news is, at least with my access points, it doesn't just support 6. It supports 2.4 and 5. You can, if you want, name your... Here's what I did, and maybe this is the thing.
Apple has a guide on this, by the way, that we'll link in the show notes for using Wi-Fi 6E networks with Apple devices. So,
okay. So there's something special?
Well, just to get the best performance they talk about. But continue, because I think what you're about to say is what they're suggesting.
What I often do, and you can do this easily with your Ubiquiti software, is turn off different radios depending on what I want to do. So, for instance, I have my IoT network, and that's all 2.4 because... A lot of older IoT devices don't even support higher frequencies, but B, it travels farther, and C, that's going to be kind of the network that's for those low bandwidth devices, and it preserves the 5 and if you have it 6 gigahertz bands for the computers that need all that bandwidth. So that's one way to do it, is to turn off the 5 and 6, turn on the 2.4, pair your iPad, and then by the way, you don't have to leave it off, then turn it back on. The iPad will work fine with a 2.4. It's going to be plenty of bandwidth, and it will work through walls and things like that. Now, what does Apple say about getting Wi-Fi 6 devices to work?
So Apple actually says that it prefers if you have a single network name across all bands.
Yeah. You know why? Because then it will use the 2.4 automatically if it can see it and can't see the 6.
It says if the router isn't using the same name for all bands, your device, the iPad, identifies the network as having limited compatibility. It then finds the name of the corresponding 5 gigahertz network and asks whether you want to join it for better compatibility.
So have one name, and that's actually I do. I don't have a 6 and a 5 and all that. I have all one name, which is better for all the devices. It's more flexible that way.
And there's a mode, so make sure you have that turned on. I imagine you do, but settings, Wi-Fi, tap the name of the network that you're connected to, and
it has
hit
a
the
6E mode.
And then tap Wi-Fi 6E mode.
That's
and
interesting.
Make sure that's turned on.
They may not want to turn on that 6 gigahertz radio unless you have support for it. That's
it's probably more battering, right?
Yeah. So that's the first thing to check. Go into your Wi-Fi settings, and enable 6E mode. You have to do that in the actual network you're on.
Correct. And it should, if it detects 6 hertz, if it detects that you can support Wi-Fi 6E with that network, it should have it on automatically. So it's not an opt-in thing, it's an opt-out thing. But if you did have issues with your network in the first place, it might not be turned on. So
the 4th generation iPad Pro supports it, and 11 and 12.9. inch. The 6th generation 12.9 inch supports it. So those Pros do support it. That's interesting. I do not have a Wi-Fi 6 or 6E network.
Same.
Yeah. Do you have your Eros?
I guess the Mac Studio. Oh, you mean network? Yeah, no, the Eros I have currently do not.
Yeah.
I've been eyeballing this new one that Amazon just came out with.
I would rush out to get just for the 6 capability.
I agree. It'd be a future-proofing thing, and in my case,
wait till it's time to buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because after all, you live in a 3-story house with a tandem garage. Did the listings say that when you...
Tandem garage, yes, it does.
Yeah, 3-story shoebox with tandem garage.
It's exactly what...
Do you have windows?
I said, I'll take that.
That sounds good. I don't know what it is.
It does have windows. Yes. It's a townhome, not quite a shoebox, but sometimes it feels like one.
Honest, we pay him. I swear to God, we pay him.
It's just California.
It's expensive here.
Just the other day, I was talking to somebody and I didn't realize it. That she's like, "Yeah, I live with my mom because I live in California."
Yeah,
I was like, "I wish I could do that."
I feel really bad for your generation and people younger than you.
Yeah,
because you can't. Houses are too expensive. Even rent's too expensive. For most jobs.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, luckily, blessedly, I can afford to live here. So at the very, I'm paid fine. But
you look at that shoebox and you say, for that amount of money in St. Joe,
I had a 3-bedroom home in Missouri that cost me 1/3 of the price of this. Right. Yeah.
That's why our 20-year-old wants to move to Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I don't blame him.
That's why I said we should bring him there when it's snowing.
Then he'll change his mind.
All right, we'll have more calls in just a bit. You're watching Ask the Tech Guys. What else do we got? Should we
maybe go to...
How about Dan?
Let's say hello to Dan.
Who's marching through the woods, into the woods.
Oh, I like it. Dan likes to...
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
You are unmuted, Dan.
He likes to go on a hike when he's talking to us. Is this... You said it was a 3 or 4 mile hike? It's a long hike.
Yeah, this time I think I'll squeeze in about 5. My friend Autumn showed up yesterday.
Yeah, I love Autumn.
Right with Autumn came the rain.
Oh.
It was actually kind of beautiful.
Where are you?
To have the rain show up again in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
So pretty.
Yeah.
So pretty.
Gorgeous.
What can we do for you, Dan?
I'm bragging about that cellular connection. My goodness.
I know. Look at that.
Well, I got this fancy new phone, so maybe I could hit you up. 3 quick questions.
Sure.
A silly one, a serious one, and a Synology one.
That's good.
The 3 S's.
Yeah.
Real quick, little alliteration here. So, silly question. You've been off terrestrial radio now for not quite, 9 months or so?
Yeah, since December 18th.
And I was just wondering, during your terrestrial radio days, were you ever Baba Booeyed?
Yes. So this is
cool.
Yes, I was. So Howard Stern would encourage his listeners to make prank calls, and at the end of the call, go Baba Booey to you all. Baba Booey was his producer's name. I got 1 or 2. I did, but there have been some very famous ones. During the O.J. Simpson car chase, one of the very serious network anchors was talking to a fellow who said, "I see O.J. He's driving by." And at the end of the call, he goes, I have a recording of it. I should play it sometime. Baba Booey to you all.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
The very serious network anchor says, that is, I
Al
believe...
Michaels.
It was Al Michaels. You've heard it. Says, that is,
Yes,
I believe,
absolutely.
a prank call.
Totally farcical. Totally farcical.
It was so bad. Al Michaels should have known.
But
anyway.
let me just say, Howard has his good and bad periods in history, and we'll take the good with the bad. I don't know. He's funny.
Jeff Jarvis is Jeff Jarvis is a huge Stern fan. He's been on Stern many times, and I don't get it. It's not my kind of humor, but lately Stern's been doing serious interviewing, and I think that he's actually a pretty darn good interviewer. So,
well, he's in the news because the most famous whack packer of all criticized him in the media.
Oh, really?
The most famous of all the whack packers was Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And he's now criticized him in the media because Howard had some not so nice things to say about well, let's not talk politics. That was my silly question.
Okay, that was good. I like it.
How about my serious question?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I got the new iPhone Pro Max.
Congratulations.
Beautiful phone.
Did you get it on Friday?
I did.
Nice.
And the only hiccup was when I tried to activate it. I tried to activate it as a new phone
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to bring all my old apps over with me. I wanted a clean interface. I wanted one screen, maybe two screens that I could flip between. I've got at least a decade worth of built up apps that are used and unused and who knows what. And there doesn't seem to be a clean way of just cleaning out apps, in one fell swoop. You can go through and long press them and all that kind of stuff. But that gets to be quite a chore when you've got, I don't know how many, 8, 10, 12 pages of apps that I have.
Yeah.
So I tried to set up as a new phone. And during the process, I learned that I didn't care about any of the data that was in my iCloud backup except for my messages. And I found that when you set it up as a new phone, it does not bring over your iCloud or your iMessage history. It really wipes those out as well. So there's no option there just to say, hey, I don't need all those apps. I would like to have all that other stuff like my email configuration, my message history, some of those components.
Yeah.
It's like if you do an iCloud backup, you get everything.
Yeah.
Or you get nothing.
So what I would recommend is that if someone wants to do this, they do the full restore, the full transfer with those apps that you're talking about. And then after you're done, you plug your phone into your Mac, you get a nice little application called iMazing, and iMazing will allow you to select the apps that are on your iPhone.
Another reason to use iMazing.
And right click and remove them.
What's the Windows version of that?
iMazing.
It's Mac and PC. Yeah.
It's
Mac and PC?
Yep, it works on Windows as well. It is a nice way to configure that stuff. You can add apps if you want to, remove apps if you don't want them.
Excellent.
And set it up exactly how you want.
Well, that's exactly what I was looking for. Thanks, Mikah.
Yeah, I think sometimes I like to do a clean install, but of late it's so easy to do a phone-to-phone transfer. I just figure, I'm going to do that and then I'll uninstall by hand. But so it's nice to know that you can still use it. You'd have to hook it up to the computer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And do the backup there.
Just a warning to other
USB-C
people.
now.
When I tried to set up as a new phone, decided that wasn't going to work for me. So I tried to go back and then, go through this setup process again.
Uh-huh.
And then I couldn't activate the phone.
Oh,
so the next hour and 45 minutes of calls to Verizon.
Yeah.
Through 2 sets of tier 2 support.
Oh, dear.
And I finally did
no.
get it connected to the cellular network. But something about that process of me deciding to, not do it according to oil.
Yeah,
it's eSIM.
They talk about the convenience of eSIM, but I get nervous every time the new phone thing happens now because of eSIM.
I spent
and then I
my own 90 minutes online with T-Mobile because I didn't have the phone to transfer it over. Meanwhile, because we got UPS came with 3 phones on Friday, and because Michael decided to get the new iPhone and Lisa gets it too. So meanwhile, they're over there and it's just swimmingly going along.
It's a beautiful day in a neighborhood.
I just set up 2 new phones for my mom and my sister, and it went so smooth and so easy. I didn't even think twice about it when I got my new phone, and there I was. I was the guy on support for an hour and 45 minutes. I'm not supposed to be that guy, Leo.
I think there's some percentage of people are that guy, no matter what.
You heard all of my issues with mine.
This was your year.
I don't know what I'm going to get home
professional.
to.
Yeah. I was impressed because when I gave my sister my 14, which was an eSIM, I forgot and it is better, right? To get the SIM popper out, you move the SIM over, it just happens. But she had a phone with a SIM. And I was really impressed that her carrier, I think it was T-Mobile also, said, well, you want to move this number over? And they said it did it all automatically without contacting T-Mobile and all of that. So I was all set for a very simple thing. But because I didn't have that old phone, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, that was not good.
I had to do an iCloud restore too, which worked all right. I mean, phone to phone's better.
Yeah, phone to phone is better, but
all right,
iCloud restore's not bad.
Third
question.
Okay.
Ooh, beautiful bridge.
Real quick.
Oh, nice. I'm so jealous. What a nice
Now
hike.
I kind of want to go hiking.
Yeah.
This is the Riley. It used to be a big suspension bridge, and one of these huge Doug firs fell down and just totally wiped out this historical suspension bridge that was really cool and historical and magic. But they replaced it with this be a myth. That's going to last forever.
It'll never. Yeah.
I-beams.
Yeah, that's not going to.
Taking this thing out.
Trees could fall all over that sucker. What's the park? What's the park?
This is Tryon Creek State Natural Area in Portland, Oregon.
Nice.
And it's just 2 minutes drive from my house. So this is my. Cool. I get out here 3-4 times a week, which is I'm really lucky.
Yeah, no kidding.
Here.
I like it when it's a little damp. Joke. It's kind of nice. It's kind of moist out there.
Yes, I love that. And the smell, petrichor.
Here's my Portland joke. Portland has the best summers of anywhere I've ever lived. It's the other 11 months of the year that kind of suck. And that's not totally true. Autumn is beautiful here, but it is kind of dreary when you get around April, May, June, and it's still raining and you're waiting for the sun. But so Synology question.
Time.
I got a brand new 1522. I've been running a 418 for a while with 4 drives. I got the 5 drive 1522 plus. Got 5 matching 18 terabyte drives, except they weren't matching. One has 4K native. I'd never heard of 4K native. Have you?
What's 4K native?
Exactly my point, Leo.
4K
I got the
native.
C8 Exos Enterprise drives, same serial number. Pop them all into the Synology. Super excited to set this thing up. And then all of a sudden it says when I'm going to create the RAID, all drives must be 4K native or no drives 4K. Some message like that.
How frustrating is that?
So since I got one that was 4K native, which I don't know what that means because I have the same.
Oh, it's using a native. It's using a 4K block size. Okay. So usually what happens is you trick the hardware about the block size. 4K native means instead of having to take a smaller block size and pretending it's 4K, they actually are 4096 byte sectors on the drive.
I'm kind of surprised Synology can't create a RAID then with 5 drives. They're 18 terabytes. They're Seagate Exos. It's just one bit that's flipped somewhere that's calling it 4K native, and there's no software setting, it seems. So I cannot create a RAID with all 5 of those. So I can send it back. That's fine. But
that's really interesting. It's something I hadn't really even thought of. I mean, 4K native is more modern and supposedly more efficient, better. But I guess it depends on how Synology is doing that RAID. They must be doing something.
And they have all their different flavors of RAID from SHR 1 and 2 and all the RAID numbered RAIDs. You just can't do a RAID that includes that.
This is Scooter X is giving us the Synology language quote. 4K native drives should be run and managed separately from hard drives in other disk sector formats when creating, repairing, expanding, and migrating any volume, disk group, RAID, and LUN. I don't know if there's a technical reason for that or what. I mean,
and I'm not looking for an answer. I just wanted to throw it out there.
That's it. I had never even heard of this, and so I'm glad you called, and that's something to look for if you either all or nothing. Either all 4K or no 4K. There's no middle ground.
Remember when we had those little plastic parts that we had to move to make a drive slave or master?
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, somewhere in here there's a switch.
Just turn off the 4K. Yeah.
There's a little dongle or a switch or
a little dip switch.
Some way to change this around. But, that's the thing about Synology. You're supposed to be able to mix and match all your drives.
That's one of the benefits, I guess.
All your old externals, throw them all into a big Synology and mash them together.
And it is true. I mean, on my, I have the same as you, the 1522 Plus, and I have all different drive because it's just leftover drives, right? All different drive sizes in there. You found the one thing that doesn't work. You can't fix that. That's a hardware setting, so there's nothing you can do reformatting the drive or repartitioning. Now,
remember,
you might try. Here's a guy in our IRC says I had the same problem. I just plugged in the 4K drives and they worked despite the warnings.
I spent some time with it yesterday. You just cannot advance the creation of the RAID.
It'll stop you.
There's no
he may have an earlier DSM version that allowed that, and then Synology said we better not allow that because we can't guarantee the integrity of the resulting RAID.
Well, I've been running the other one for years, and it's just been so rock solid, and I love it.
Oh, no,
it's
I think
just such a beautiful little device.
Yeah.
So I went to upgrade to a next bigger one so I can, back up my existing one on site.
I did the same thing. I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop with Synology, because every other company seems like goes downhill. So far, knock on leather, they haven't.
They have a niche.
They have a niche, and they do it the best. They're really fantastic. Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know. Thank you for tipping us off. I appreciate it.
Hey, Leo.
Yes.
Baba Booey to you.
I knew it.
You got me. You got me. It was all a prank. He's not really in the woods.
That's a green screen.
I was looking for this.
I hate Synology.
I was looking for the Al Michaels bit. I know I have it somewhere here in my my collection of sound effects. If I can find it, I'll stick it at the end of the. I'll stick it at the end of the podcast because it's a pretty long bit.
Oh, that would be epic.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a pretty long. And at the end, Baba
I see OJ.
And the best, I see OJ, and it's a little racist, but okay. And at the end of it, it's just hysterical to hear Al Michaels. I think Serious. Al did not figure it out. Then somebody, or no, the announcer did figure. Then somebody, Al Michaels was the one who said, just so you know, that was a prank call. Like,
absolutely,
the guy who was talking to him didn't know.
He's like, just let me interrupt here for a second.
Yeah.
It's
hysterical.
Let me just say that's a totally farcical call.
Totally farcical.
That is a word that is indicative of a certain radio show host.
I want to find it now. Now you got me. I really want to find it. I have it here somewhere. I've got a lot of stuff. Hey, thank you.
Almost as funny as the dancing Itos.
Yes. Wow. We're going back in time now. I appreciate the call. Enjoy your walk.
Yes.
Cheers.
So great to talk to you. Yeah. So all drives are physically 4K sector nows, but most support 512E, which is an emulation of 512 byte sectors, which is how old drives used to work. And a lot of hardware, for a long time, BIOS couldn't figure out what a 4K sector was. So they had to do this emulation.
So then if you have a new enough drive, it might just be stuck in 512 emulation. And
yeah. So this is hysterical. And by the way, thank you for reminding me, user 228466. It was Peter Jennings who was on the phone with the prank call. Peter Jennings, the ABC News anchor, had no idea what was going on. And Al Michaels has to come in and says,
got it. Okay.
Peter, that was a totally farcical call. Let's do another one. Speaking of farcical calls, who do we have?
We have Cameron.
Cameron. Hello, Cameron.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Cameron.
So I called in last week asking about how to make a burner ISO onto a disk.
Yes.
I figured it out.
Oh, tell us how you figured it out.
So the issue was that I was unable to do it through my Chromebook's Linux.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I figured out that there was a homebrew-like application that you can install if you have your laptop in developer mode, as I do, called Chromebrew.
Chromebrew. I didn't. That's nice. I love Homebrew on the Mac. Chromebrew. I love it.
So it just uses a little shell script and crash.
And were you able to install Etcher that way, or what did you install?
Yeah. So it has Balena Etcher in its repositories, and now I'm looking right now playing a Roulike on my KD Neon computer.
So that's one of the limitations of using that crouton on Chromebook to make you do a Cheroot Linux running on it. It's not a real Linux. So that's interesting. So you couldn't get Etcher installed normally, but you were able to do it with Chromebrew. That's good. That's a good tip.
They even call it the missing package manager for Chrome OS.
Yeah.
Just like the missing package manager
Very
for
nice.
Mac OS.
Yeah, there's Homebrew for Linux. Homebrew for Mac is best known. And this is a really useful tool. Thank you.
And it's available for Chromebook.
Very nice.
And then, so I do have a question though here.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys are going to be able to answer it.
Well, we tried last time, and I gave a long explanation of how to use DD, which I deeply regret. But now go ahead.
I figured it out. So I'm looking at my launcher menu right now. Now, I've changed a couple of different icons names here just so it works with my I've got several widgets that use the names from the programs. And so for example, I changed my Chrome icon, but it's appearing as Chrome, which is the one I created. And it's also appearing as Google Chrome, which is the default menu. So I don't know if there's a way to delete that. When I open KDE Menu Editor, it doesn't show two separate things. So
because you renamed it, you've got two, huh?
Right.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Fair enough.
I wonder if it reinstalled it when you did a package upgrade. It said, "Oh, you don't have Chrome here." I don't know. I really don't know. Yeah, I can't help you on that.
Fair enough.
Keith 512 says you might have two .desktop files in the menu folder. And so you should only have one. And the reason you're seeing duplicates is because you have two. That's worth a look.
Let's see.
Look for your .desktop files.
And then I have another one. I might just pop open my IRC right now and...
Yeah, talk to Keith. He's a very smart user, one of our smarter users. They're all smart.
Yeah.
He's even smarter.
We love you all. You're all smart.
You're all smart users.
All right, then. I'll move
Thank you,
it to
Cameron.
IRC, but
yeah, go
I just
check it out.
mainly wanted to provide an update and share.
I appreciate
what I
that. It's great. Thank you, Cameron.
Yeah, Chrome Brew.
And then I don't know if Dr. Mom's still in the
house
chat. Yeah, in the house. But I was thinking, somebody was saying in the IRC that Cloud Ready or Chrome OS, whatever it's called at this point.
Yeah, Cloud Ready, which is their Chrome OS installer on top. Her problem is a hardware issue. It's worn out, so you can't
somebody said putting it on like a hard like an old laptop that she wouldn't need anymore.
Oh, yeah, turning it on. I see what you're saying. Yeah, Cloud Ready, which was originally from Neverwhere, Google bought them, allowed you, because Chrome OS, like Chromium, is an open source project, so it took the Chromium OS and made an installer that you could put on old PCs. Didn't work on all machines. Some machines it worked very nicely. When it did, it's great. You got a Chromebook out of an old laptop that you might not really want to put anything more modern on. Yeah, she could do that, but I think she knows about that. Yeah, Neverwhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chrome.
But my issue is that it doesn't have Christine or Arc++, so she's stuck.
Yeah, you can't run Linux. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah,
because I would imagine in her line of work,
she might want that.
She would use that. So
yeah,
that is an option. However, I don't think it would work for her.
Is that you, Matt Kenny? Are you in the IRC?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah,
I see you talking to Dr. Mom. There you go. Hey, it's great to talk to you, Cameron. Have a great one.
Thank you, Cameron.
All right.
Take care.
Talk to you later.
Good. He and Dr. Mom are in dialogue.
Oh, good.
In our IRC, which is irc.twit.tv. That we've had that for the longest time. Really, I started using IRC back in the radio days in the early 90s. And Robert Scoble was the original chat moderator. We've gone through quite a few since then. It's kind of a burnout job. Scooter X, you've done it longer than anybody else, I think. If you want to join us, use your web browser, point to irc.twit.tv. It is IRC, so you could use an IRC client, but you can also use your web browser. Club Twit members, of course, have access to something a little more modern, which is our wonderful Discord. If you're not a Club Twit member, I got to ask, why not?
Why not?
A mere $7 a month. What do you get? Ad-free versions of all of our shows. You get access to the Discord, which is more than just a chat room. It's really a community of people, smart people. It's kind of the Tinder Platinum, the Tinder Select of chat rooms, because it's only high-value people who have $7 a month to spend on Twit.
They're not after your money.
No, it's great conversations during the shows, but also on all sorts of topics not related. We've got some big events coming up in the Club Twit Discord. You're going to do the escape room with us, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm looking forward to that.
So looking forward to
That's
doing
going to be fun.
Room.
We also coming up, if you go to the Discord, I don't have it in front of me, but we have, Ant was asking us to plug.
We've got Lou Maresca.
Lou MM from TWiT.
That's this coming Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific.
And then John Scalzi, the sci-fi author.
Yeah.
We have the Old Farts Roundtable. There's a lot of events we put together.
Stacey's Book Club still going on.
Yeah, community manager. Yeah. So Lou Maresca, 9 a.m. on Thursday Pacific time. If you want to talk to he's actually got a lot to say. He's a very nice, interesting person, not just the host of TWiT. That should be a lot of fun. The escape room we're going to do. So Lisa took her entire continuity team. And you.
And me.
I don't know how you got involved, but somehow you got extra. She didn't even tell me she was doing it. She took them all to an escape room, and it was fun.
Oh, my gosh. I had so much fun.
So the people who did that escape room have an escape room in a box that they bring to your office. So is it October 26th? I think that's when we're going to do it.
It is, yeah, I think it's
She's going to bring the escape room in a box to our studios.
October 26th. You got it right.
You and I and Jason Howell.
And Ant. And maybe you can have up to 6, I believe.
So at least those 4, maybe a few more, are going to do it on camera live.
Yes.
So you can watch us be really stupid all
And I think
at once.
At least some of us are going to be wearing costumes given how close it is to the 31st.
Oh, I guess it should be our Halloween thing. Okay, I'll wear a costume then. I'll wear a costume that's particularly ungainly and makes it impossible for me to move.
To move around.
Yeah.
So then if we don't do well, you can use that as an excuse.
Yeah, it was just because it was my costume.
Yeah.
Ruined it for
The
us.
costume did it. I will say the person we're working with, she is very good, even while we were doing it, at knowing when someone is truly stuck versus knowing when the group might just need a little bit more time to get it.
I don't like help. I like to do it on my own.
We didn't like help either, and so she was very good about not giving us help. The only time that there was kind of a cut in, and she could tell we were a group that didn't really want help, was when you had solved something and then something seemed a little bit off, and you're like, "Is there more to it than that?" And she was able to say,
"No, you got
hey,
it all.
you're good to go there. Let's keep moving."
Good.
So I'm looking forward to working with her. Yeah,
it's gonna be a lot of fun. So you need to be a club member to see that. There's also a feed of other specials and stuff that happens before and after shows and so forth. I think we decided we really want to make this worth your $7 because I'm with you. There's a lot of subscriptions out there, but I think this is really well worth it, and it makes a big difference to us. We are not making our ad sales goals this year. Next year looks even more bleak. I don't want to shut anything down. I want to keep it going. But as you probably know, we don't have investors. I don't have deep pockets. We can only do whatever we have money to do. And so your $7 a month, it literally makes the difference. So please, if you're not a member, twit.tv/clubtwit. And I thank you in advance.
Let me keep my Tandem garage and shoebox, please.
Look, that's good. From now on, our ad's going to be, this man will have to move out of his shoebox and Tandem garage unless you go to twit.tv/clubtwit and subscribe today. Do you want to see this man evicted from his shoebox? Do you? I ask. We buy the phones because we have to. It doesn't come out of the TWiT money. It's part of our job. And Michael, it comes out of his Safeway earnings.
Yeah.
Good for him. I did not pay for his phone, and Lisa paid for hers, and yes, TWiT paid for this one and yours, but that's part of the job. We have to do that. So your $7 a month doesn't go to our iPhones. Don't worry, it goes to keeping the lights on. Let's do another phone call. What do you say?
Yeah.
Who do you have?
Oh darn, we lost. There was a person who'd been.
We got Rich.
Oh,
you brought him
good.
in.
Okay, good.
Bring him into the Stargate.
I thought we lost you, Rich. I'm glad you're here.
All right, I'm here. Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
I always think of you as Dick DeBartolo Jr. Am I wrong?
Do you have any gizmos or gadgets for us?
I don't have any for you, but I do love Dick's segments. I've been listening to you for, I think, since about 2009, 2008, something like that.
Wow.
I've loved listening to Dick the whole time.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of when we got going, yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
I've got a friend. You actually touched on this real briefly when you were talking with Dr. Mom earlier. We have a friend whose mother is in her mid-80s, starting to have some cognitive decline, and she would like a solution where there is some sort of device in her mom's house that's kind of a one-way thing. So she can call it, our friend can call her mom, but her mom doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Because she would like to have a video chat so that if her mom has something, she can like hold it up to the camera and she'll be able to read what's on the paper to help her understand it. This happened with some spam that came in the snail mail, and she didn't know what to do with it. And our friend wanted to help her, but she didn't know what it was. So it had to wait until the next time she was at her house. And the problem is that she doesn't want something where her mom is going to see it and go, what is this? And, throw it away or try to do something that it's not designed for or whatever. So she just wants to be able to initiate something with a static device in the house. And I
will tell you, I have a great answer for you. I will tell you, my mom, who's 90, and gets confused sometimes, loves having that Echo sitting there. Now, what I did so that she wouldn't throw it out is it's on our account, and it has a slideshow of when we were little and when she was young, and she just loves those. And so it's for her, it's a little slideshow thing. But Amazon supports something called drop-in, which allows you to drop into that Echo and just appear like the Wizard of Oz and say, hi, what can I help you with? So she doesn't, her friend doesn't have to do anything. She can just drop in at any time and appear.
That sounds pretty much exactly like what she's looking for. What model is that? I know they have a bunch of different products. We don't have any here.
Yeah, any of the shows. So
with a screen, it has to have a screen. That's what makes it. So
if it has, if it has show afterward, that'll be it. There's the Echo Show 8 and the Echo Show 10, I believe.
There's also one, and this is one I got, and I kind of think it's cool, that will face you.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It rotates around. It's more expensive. I think it's $250, but it seems like a live object in some respects. So when you talk to it or when you do a drop-in and she responds, it will turn and face her.
Yeah, that's the Echo Show 10, third generation.
Yeah. That's a very cool. Now, it's a lot more expensive. The good news is the new 8 is under $100, and so very affordable given that. But you can do audio drop-in, as Dr. Mama is pointing out in the chat room, on any Echo device. It's just if you want the video, if you want the camera, and you want her to hold up the spam and say, what is this? Then you need one with a screen on it. But you can do audio drop-in too, which is actually a little creepy. Yeah.
Well, that's my other fear. So having had a parent who went through cognitive decline, you never know what the response is going to be. You can say something or they can see something. People would give us suggestions all the time. Oh, well, you should do this. Yeah, but have you thought about what if they do this with it? And it you end up going down a dozen rabbit holes every time one of those things comes up. But it does sound like the show was what she was looking for. It's just I looked it up real quick because I remembered that name, and it seemed, just to my eyes, confusing for somebody. But it sounds like from what you're saying, you can set it up in a way that it really won't necessarily be confusing. It's just something that's there, and our friend can just drop in and it'll be fine. Yeah,
you can kind of essentially disregard all of the interactions, just make it that photo frame, except whenever the friend wants to drop in. And plus, Echo has 2 different modes. There is a mode that is specifically for elderly care, and then there's a mode that is for kids. And so it's possible that your friend could enable one of these modes, and that could be helpful in this situation, because each of them can provide limitations to the system and also kind of change the size of things on the screen. So if there was interaction that the person wanted to do, they could. But ultimately, if you just kind of say, hey, this is a picture frame that will, show these photos or whatever, and then I can also talk to you through it, and kind of keep it at that, as opposed to introducing, like, if you want to, you can get the news on it and also play music.
Right, all the functions. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right, well, that sounds perfect then. When I saw it on the Amazon page, I thought, this looks like too much.
It's complicated for your friend, but not for her parent.
Yeah, I have a feeling that what they'll do is if they get something like that, they'll set it up at our house first.
Yeah,
they'll set it up with us first on their account, and we can try everything out and figure out how she's going to set it up over there.
The only hitch in the whole get along for us was the first one I gave her. I set it up on my account, right? Because then I can put pictures on it, I control it. And she said, I don't want to see your calendar. And she, on her own, changed it away from my account to some other account.
Oh, wow.
And that kind of screwed the whole thing up.
Yeah, no doubt.
More recently, I sent her another one that was on my account. This is many years later, and she has not changed it. And the nice thing about that is because it's on my account, I can put pictures on there. If I want to share an audiobook with her, I can say, Mom, you can listen to my audiobooks and all of that. So that's really nice. And that drop-in is important. You need to know. It doesn't have to be on your account to do the drop-in. You can drop in on anybody. I could drop in on Mikah.
Yep, as long as the contacts.
It's in your contacts, right? So they need to know about that. But I think it's handier if it's in her account.
Yeah, it's easier for setup and change. Yeah, when there are firmware updates or whatever.
Virtually certain that's the way she's going to want to do it. But she does have a brother, and so I think that might, as long as he's aware of it, that might be something that they could do.
For a while, instead of using FaceTime, we were using the Echo Show to have video calls. But for some reason, Mom really likes FaceTime, and we reverted back to FaceTime. I think she likes having it on her iPad.
How's she doing? Didn't you just go out there?
She's doing great. Yeah, we put her in assisted living. She has a really cute apartment. She calls the nurses and the aides her servants. I said, Mom, whatever, rocks your boat. She says, yes, my servants come and they give me my medication, and then we go down and the cook makes me a meal, and she's very happy.
That's good.
She's living in. I was really worried. I was really worried she would hate it. So I want to be back in my house. She's a beautiful house, but it was very hard for her to take care of herself and my sister. There was a lot of burden on her. So it's been a great solution all around. And we go visit her. That's why I'm going to go out more frequently. And I'm setting up a studio in Mom's old house. I just got the Insta360 Link, their little beautiful 4K camera. I have lights. I'm going to set it all up, and then I'll have a studio there, and I can do the shows from the house, which means I'll be able to go visit without any burden on the shows. So that's good. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad she's doing well. I know that she's 90 or 91. So
she's 90.
That's great.
She'll be 91 in January. Yeah. She's doing great. She has a little cognitive decline, of course, loss of mobility. She's at her age, she's doing great. She says every time I talk to her, I don't feel a thing. That may have something to do with the handles of Johnny Walker. I bring her out, but no. It's really interesting to watch this process with somebody so close to you. I know many of you have already gone through this in your lives, and it brings home our mortality and everything. But I want to make sure she's as happy as can be and as comfortable as can be, and she seems to be. So I'm very
before we moved my dad to assisted living, I looked at I think 7 different places out here in Tucson.
You got to find the place. That's right.
Yeah, they're all different in one way or another. Yeah, and I think we found a good one. So
I think we did too.
Well,
I think we did too.
That's great.
Thank you. Thanks for asking.
All right, thanks a lot. We'll definitely look into the show.
Yeah.
Take care.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's been great. My mom, she really loves it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
It was her servant before she had servants. All right, we're going to take a little break. You're watching Ask the Tech Guys with Mikah and Leo, and I have a message on my watch for you right now. This Packer game is epic. Okay. Wow. Okay, Lisa's having a good time watching football. Sunday is a very special day in the Laporte household, and Lisa's quite enjoying it.
Who are the Packers playing?
They're playing the Saints, the New Orleans Saints. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Very exciting. I won't say a word. Just exciting. It's worth watching. I watched a Formula One race this morning as well. So it's been it's a sports marathon.
Sporty day. Should we get an email?
I can reach back since I'm such an athletic person.
Sports.
Oh, again with the upside down. Ask the Tech Guys question. Duplicate cards in Apple Pay. Mark says, I have 4 different accounts, at the same credit union. I have a debit card for each. I have the 4 debit cards saved in Apple Pay. Do you know of any method to make the card show up uniquely, other than memorizing the last 4 digits of the card?
Oh, because they all look so similar.
Yeah, they all look similar. And the way Apple Pay works, you can't really give it a name.
Yeah.
And you can't even give it a special picture as far as I know.
Because that's all part of it. So the one thing, you'll have to do this for me, Leo.
So I can see the last 4. That's the only way I know, right?
Yeah, launch the Shortcuts app for me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Shortcuts. So you think there's a shortcut you could use?
I think we might be able to. I'm trying to remember if it is just Apple Pay. So tap on the middle button at the bottom, which is automations, and then hit the plus button.
Okay, we're going to start a new script here.
And then look for Apple Pay.
CarPlay.
Transaction, there it is. So
transaction.
Transaction.
Okay.
And then, so when I tap and then choose a random card.
Okay, let's say the Platinum card. Okay. Oh, wait a minute.
I guess they're all selected.
They're all selected. So it's unselect the ones you don't want. Yeah.
And then leave the category.
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
We can
and then
those.
hit next.
Okay. So I'm now choosing this Platinum card.
And then so when I tap my Platinum card, then do a search and just type in notification.
Oh, I can have a little notification pop up.
Yeah. So what would happen is you would tap on the card and then you could have a pop up that says the name of the card, right? Whatever I think it's alert. It might be alert instead of notification.
Alert. Yeah. Be alert. We need more alerts. Nope. It's not alert either.
It should be.
How about
I know what's happening. So it is doing a search for a shortcut that already exists. So what you'd want to do instead,
go into this thing here.
Yeah, so you'd want to create a shortcut. So basically what you would do is you would have 4 shortcuts, right?
Yeah.
For each of the cards.
One for each of them.
And all the shortcut says you can have the actual actions be buzz my phone, because I just like that. It lets me know that it's actually doing it. So it vibrates the phone, and then alert me, and a little notification will pop up at the top, and it would say whatever you want to name the 4 cards. Let's say it's, personal account, work account, pet account, and savings account.
This is a good little hack.
And then it would pop up and let you know which of the 4 cards you're choosing. Then all that Leo would do is find that shortcut that he created for that card, then do the next one, find it for that, the next one, find it for that, the next one, find it for that.
Well, I can't find the alerts, but I can have it call me when I tap the card.
Yes, because again, this is finding shortcuts that have already been made. So you need to make the shortcuts first, and then you'll be able to get it.
So I get it. So I would make a shortcut that pops up an alert saying Platinum card.
Yes.
And now I'll attach, when I tap my Platinum card, it'll pop up Platinum card.
Yes, correct.
Will that inhibit the ability to use it for Apple Pay?
No, because that'll still be, that transaction or will be able to take place in the background. It's just you tapping on that card would do that. Now, presumably you haven't set like a default card. Because for me, I use the same card all the time.
I set the Apple card as the default
card.
Yeah,
and then occasionally I'll go in and tap. But yeah, that would work. You would tap on the card, and then a little notification will pop up, and I go, okay, I know this is.
So I'm going to make a new shortcut, and I'm going to say this shortcut will be an alert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you can type in notification or alert. Either will work.
Notification.
And then show notification.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it's going to say...
You would tap on that where it says Hello World.
Yeah,
on that text
and have it say Amex card, right?
Yeah.
Amex card is active. I'm going to make it very clear. Okay.
Now choose done.
Now that's a shortcut.
Yep.
So I'm going to go back to my...
Now, right now you've named it show notification, but you might want to call it like Amex card or something. Otherwise you're going to have show notification 1, show notification.
But I could have... notification. Let's see. Whoops. Notification. Should I type show maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to name it something unique, obviously. Show code scanner, show remote, show notification.
There.
So now when I tap my Platinum card,
show that notification.
Show that notification.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now let's try it.
Shall I try it?
Let's try it.
Okay. That's all I have to do. It's done.
Do you have any do not disturbs or anything like that turned on right now? Is your phone in like a quiet alert mode?
Yeah, it probably is. Let's turn that all off. Go down to this and no focus.
No focus mode. Okay, so that's
focus.
good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so let's try.
So let's try it. So I'm going to double tap here, and I'm going to go to my Platinum card, and I should get a notification. Nope. But I'm sure I did something wrong.
Let's swipe down from the top now, and let's see
if I got a notification. It was a silent notification, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
You know what?
I bet it doesn't let you. Oh, what did that say?
That wasn't
it.
Not it.
Huh. I wonder if it doesn't let you see notifications while you're in the wallet.
I think it may be the case.
Huh. I thought this would work.
Oh. So let's see how would we do that? You have a default card, so you always know that's one of those 4 debit cards is the default if you set that. But you'd like to know which of those 4 different cards. You're going to have to memorize the 4 digits.
Yeah, I can't think of any other way to make this work, which is really unfortunate. I'm really surprised that didn't work, though, honestly.
Well, maybe I did it wrong. Try it. Don't.
Yeah, because there are some notifications will happen without alerts, so you need to make sure that you choose to have it bother you. There's a little toggle.
And it may be that when an Apple, I wouldn't be surprised when the wallet is up that you can't get a notification because that would impede you.
Yeah, I guess it's because right afterward, you get the notification that says that you just paid with it, but that's probably after you've popped out of that wallet.
That's already
screen.
done.
Yeah. Maybe you could have it. This is really silly, but you could have it
if you had a beep or something.
Vibrate, or beep, and then it's 1 beep for the first card, 2 beeps for the second. You know what I mean? But that's a lot.
Yeah. Interesting question.
It is, and I never thought about having 4 cards with the same artwork on them.
There was a recent article about how Apple has tried and tried again to make programming easier on its products and has failed and failed again. And they include shortcuts as a kind of a failure. It's an interesting piece of
going back to what, like Apple Script?
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah, exactly. HyperCard. It goes back a long... inside, let's see, where is it? No, that's not it. Oh well, it's an old article, a couple of weeks ago. But I thought it was quite interesting that while Apple has tried and tried again to make it, and I honor this, very easy to control its devices with HyperCard and then Apple Script and then Automator, and eventually with shortcuts. You saw it's a little bit still not easy.
No, it still involves lots of stuff.
Yeah. Mike B says Automator. Could you do it in Automator?
No, because that's on the Mac.
Oh, that's right. It's not. They never put that on the iPhone, did they? Yeah. I think you just have to learn the 4 digits.
Yeah. I'm frustrated because now I want.
You should be able to
get how that. Make
maybe
that work.
That's a little piece that's missing. There may be a security reason for this too. The image of the card is going to be from the company.
I was thinking that,
yeah.
The company
and maybe they don't want to.
And during the little kiss, it probably.
Yeah. Oh, look! I can get a bagel reward. Yeah.
And what about? Want to change that automation to a different card?
No. We've done enough.
That's fair enough.
I could explain how DD works, but let's not. No, I think that, you know what? Watch iOS Today, maybe.
Yeah, because
Tuesday.
This is going to haunt me, so.
Ask Rosemary how you can do this.
Yeah.
I bet we could do it. We just didn't, we weren't prepared. That's the thing about this show. It's out of the blue.
It's live, baby. We're doing it live.
We don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to do one more mail.
All righty.
Larry. Hi, Larry. Longtime podcast listener here. Thank you, Larry. Finally set up a domain name forward to a Fastmail account.
Nice.
But to add my wife's email forward to Fastmail, I had to get her own Fastmail account. If she wants the same... So let's say I have Leo at Laporte.com, and I want Lisa to have Lisa at Laporte.com. I would just set it up in my Fastmail account. I would set it up so that if mail comes to that Lisa address, it forwards to the email service she uses. Only I need the Fastmail account. In fact, I have it set up that way for a lot of family members.
Okay, so it's a mail forward setting within Fastmail as well as from the domain
You
side.
make a rule in Fastmail. So Fastmail lets you associate any domain name with Fastmail. They're actually the DNS for almost all my domain names.
A sponsor on the network, by the way.
Sponsor. And then, so I have, let's say, I don't have Laporte.com. But if I had Laporte.com, I could associate it with it. And I can tell Fastmail anything at Laporte.com should come to me. Mm-hmm. I could also have a rule that says anything to Lisa at Laporte.com gets forwarded to Lisa's Gmail, because that's what she uses.
Would you still have access to that email?
I would not. It goes right through.
It bounces.
So the privacy is preserved. So every member of my family could have a Laporte.com email address without me seeing their mail.
If your last name is Laporte, reach out to Leo and he'll get your
I'll be glad to do that for anybody.
Set up.
Except I don't have Laporte.com. So the one issue is, of course, if I'm a bad actor, I could say, send it to her, but keep a copy.
Also keep a copy, yeah.
But unless you do that, it's just gonna bounce around. It's never gonna get stored in your inbox.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you could if you want. Make sure it's somebody you trust.
Yeah. Don't contact a stranger about it.
Who else should we talk to? Anybody, Anthony? You got somebody for us?
Yeah, let's go with Neil.
Neil. Hello, Neil.
On the line.
Neil's on the line.
Ain't it so divine?
Calling
Hey,
from...
Leo, hey, Mike, how are you guys doing?
We're great. How are you?
Well, Neil. Thank you.
I'm great. I'm in Arizona, cooling down, so it's only like 95 during the day.
Oh, my God.
Down to like 70 at night, so it's actually pretty nice.
Yeah, winter's coming.
Right?
What is winter in Arizona? Like, how cold is it at the coldest time of year at noon?
Well, and I'm trying to think, and it can get down into the 40s or 50s.
Yeah, overnight, because it's a desert. Desert gets cold, yeah. But in the middle of the day,
it's colder than you would think.
Yeah, okay.
It can get to the 40s. It can get down to the 50s. You can get where you need a jacket.
Yeah. So that's why when it's winter, you go even further south.
As far as I can. But if I went further south, I'd be in Mexico.
Right. What can we do for you, Neil?
I went much further south. Okay. Well, by the way, I just joined Club TWiT a few months ago.
Thank you.
Thank you for buying me and my family and Micah's iPhones. No.
Well, I have been, watching your shows, and we've talked many times before, and I've been listening with you since the radio days.
I know,
so it's been a long time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure. I saw your mom the other day. She looked great.
She was on the event right before the event,
awesome.
the Apple event. It was really nice to get her on. She'd been on many times on iOS Today. She's getting on a little bit, so she's not quite as vigorous as she was back in the day. But yeah, she's a sweetheart. And what's interesting is she's an entertainer, because she says, I tell jokes to everybody in the home. And I think it's just a matter of time before she's doing stand-up comedy at dinner. I can see where I get it from. Let's put it that way. She really likes to entertain. So thank you, Neil. Yeah, I'll give her.
But I do have a question for you. But so here's what I've got. It's a relatively simple setup. I have a pair of original HomePods in my living room, as a stereo pair that are also paired to my Apple TV 4K, and I use that for TV sound, and I use it for other music or whatever, podcasts and things like that. I also have an HomePod Mini in my bedroom for listening. I like audible audiobooks.
Yeah,
I got since listening to you in 2011 when I first signed up. So it's been that.
Thank you.
270 off the input.
Yeah, I do the same thing. We listen to books. Lisa and I will listen to books in the evening. It's a nice tradition. We have the big HomePods.
Here's the problem.
Yes.
Yeah, here's the problem. On the little HomePod Mini, if I want to pass, like the HomePod Mini speaker is better than the phone, the iPhone itself. So I easily can hold the phone over the
and it hands it off,
and it hands it off.
Yeah.
But the problem is the handoff in the living room.
Right.
Now, I went through Apple. I was on a phone with Apple yesterday, and after resetting the HomePods and everything, it seemed to clear up the problem until I reintroduced the Apple TV into the mix.
Yep.
So now, I realized that when you want to pass the Audible audiobook on, you have to connect to the Apple TV, and then it will connect through the speaker.
Yep.
In other words, it's like It launches the TV. It actually launches the TV.
Yeah, it turns on the TV.
So that once you pair to the Apple TV, those speakers are no longer available.
It's one of the most annoying things.
As Bluetooth speakers to the rest of the house, or AirPlay speakers to the rest of the house. They're only available through the Apple TV.
It's a particularly frustrating thing, especially I have now what used to belong to Leo, a projection screen.
And you have to turn it on in order to...
And that
it makes
whole
me
thing comes on.
I wish you could just say to the Apple TV, no, I don't need the screen.
I don't need you.
Just make music.
Yeah.
But for some reason... Apple TV says, no, I'm not going to work unless the TV's on.
Because of the fact that it's not just a stereo pair, but it's a stereo pair connected to the TV. Yeah. Honestly, this is something that I just think needs to be fixed. I think that part of the problem is they're doing a lot of clever stuff all at once. And so to try to like sort between that is, I'm sure, not easy because especially if you have the ARC 2 stuff turned on where you can actually use those HomePods as the audio output for other devices that you have.
You still have to turn on the TV though.
Yes, exactly.
That's the problem.
Yes. And so because of that, I think that plays a role in why the HomePods essentially are, as if they're physically connected to the TV. I don't know of a way I don't think there's a solution for this other than them figuring out a way to make it so that the HomePods can work separate from being connected to the television. I lied, the fly is back. So yeah, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
That isn't even the biggest problem because once it starts to play, the screen goes blank. It'll still be on, but it's not drawing. It's a flat screen. It's not going to draw that much power.
Yeah.
As long as it works. But I was sitting here yesterday listening to an audio book with this going on, and it would play for a while, and it seems like it's going fine, and then it stops, and the TV goes back to the Apple TV screen, and then the audiobook. I tried, okay, I'll go back to my audiobook back on. And that was bad enough, but then it would jump back to the prior chapter where I originally started listening.
This is a separate thing.
Doesn't mean it's played.
Yeah, this is a separate thing. This happens to me with Audible actually quite not super often, but basically Audible is sometimes doing some of its own clever stuff in the way that it does audio streaming. And because of the way that it does the audio streaming, it doesn't play 100% nice with Apple's, as an example, a thing that you download, let's say, a podcast app that you download, a third-party podcast app. Many of them are using the straight to Apple, bare metal version of audio streaming. They're using everything that Apple, says you should use with that audio streaming. And so it's rock solid even whenever there's a new update out. However, Audible and sometimes other, especially audiobook apps, because of the way that they have to do the sort of decompression and what is the word I'm looking for? They have everything locked up.
Copy protection.
Yeah, the copy protection.
Yeah, the DRM.
All of that is happening on the fly. And so they're not doing the straight to bare metal streaming of the music or of the audio. And so I have this issue all the time when Audible comes out with a new app update or when iOS comes out with a new update for the operating system.
Yeah.
For a while, Audible will just stop playing sometimes. Most recently, the issue that I've had is something that you were just talking about where it'll bounce back to the chapter before. So Audible's having some issues right now with the syncing of its the last played position. But I will say this, to give Audible credit, who also has been a sponsor on the network before, they just came out not too long ago with this thing called the listener log. And it's what I have wanted my whole life. Because with listener log, it will look at your past actions and it will keep track of them. So what does this mean? It means that when I turn on my sleep timer at night, it logs that. It's almost like an autosave. And then when the sleep timer ends, it logs that. When I play or pause, it logs that. And so when I wake up in the morning having fallen asleep while I was listening to the audiobook, I can look back in the listener log and find my place right where I was.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that so nice? Because
is that in the Audible app?
Yeah. So if you're in the Audible app and you start playing something, in the top right corner are the three dots. And if you tap on the 3 dots, you will see a new setting that says listening log. I said listener log. But it's called
listening log.
And then you'll see when you
that
started.
It's per book.
Per book, yeah. So when you paused last, when you hit play, when a new chapter started, when you turned on the sleep timer, when you it's got everything in there, and that helps me go back and find where I was. And so I think that that new feature, all of that is playing against us, and that's what's causing your most recent issue with so it's 2 separate issues. The thing you're talking about where the TV ends up turning on, but the reason it was stopping playing randomly.
Look at
I
this.
believe that's on the Audible side of things.
This is really
check that
great.
out. Isn't it awesome?
The book I was showing earlier, I just started, so it only had 2 entries. Here's a book I've been listening to for some time. It has quite a few entries, and you can figure out, and it'll jump to that part of the book.
Mm-hmm.
So if I said, I didn't hear it last night, let me jump back to where I started from. How clever is that?
I love it.
Thank you, Audible. I didn't even know about that. That's great.
I just found out about it about 2 days ago.
Another option, which I also frustrated by some of this weirdness, is to buy the books in Apple's books. But I did notice that a book, for instance, that Audible charges $7.50 for, Apple charges $25 for.
Mm-hmm.
It's like buying it from a regular bookstore instead of from Audible, and that
and then
kind
you
of
can't use the credit.
Yeah, that kind of put me off.
Yeah, that's it's unfortunate but
because I'd like to be able to. One thing you can't do with Audible is say, "Hey, SIRI, play my book." Mm-hmm. You could do it with an Amazon Echo device because Audible's an Amazon company, but you can't do it. So I thought, well, if I buy it, if maybe occasionally I buy a book from the Apple store, I can listen on my HomePods.
Yeah. So what I'll say is that you will probably see this start to get ironed out. The thing where it's just stopping randomly. As far as the HomePod, that is just the way things are right now.
Well, thank you for taking the call. And at least it gives the answer to the question what's probably happening. So I appreciate you taking the call.
You're not alone.
Hear from you.
Micah's suffering too. Hey, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much.
All right.
Have a great day. I think that's our last call of the day as we get ready for This Week in Tech coming up in about half an hour. We do Ask the Tech Guys Sundays. We start around 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1800 UTC. And we go till we're done, which is almost always 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 Eastern, 20:30 UTC. And the only reason I mention that is because you can watch us do it live. In fact, that's really the best way to call in, because if you call in while we're on, you can talk to us directly. The live stream is at twit.tv/live, logically enough. Of course, you don't have to watch live. You can watch on demand because we're a podcast. So you can find the show at techguylabs.com as you always have. You can also subscribe in your favorite podcast player. There's even a YouTube channel dedicated. There's a link at the Tech Guy Labs site dedicated to Ask the Tech Guys. You can watch it in any of those ways. We just want to make it as easy as possible for you to watch, but we'd love it if you watch during the live show and call in. That number 888-724-2884 is live Monday through Sunday all week long. If we're not live when you call it, you can leave us a voicemail. We'll get to your voicemail someday. You can email atg@twit.tv. We'll get to your email someday. And, of course, during the show, I don't even know if we mentioned that you can always Zoom in, as Dr. Mom and others have. Our walker from Portland.
Yes.
Zooms to call.twit.tv.
Yeah, I think you covered it.
Did I just give the whole thing? I didn't give you any chance to say a word.
There was not a word that needed said, other than, again, join Club Twit, twit.tv/Club Twit.
Definitely do that. Don't forget Lou Maresca's Ask Me Anything on Thursday. I am going to go to Green Bay for the week.
You are. Yes.
And I will not be back till next Sunday.
No. So
you're going to be taking over some of my shows.
I will be filling in on MacBreak Weekly and Windows Weekly.
Jason Howell
on Security Now.
And Twig.
So.
All right. Some good shows coming up. I'm sorry I can't be here for them, but I will be back next Sunday for Ask the Tech Guys. In the meantime, I'm Leo Laporte.
I'm Micah Sargent.
Have a great Geek Week.
Bye-bye.
Hey there, Scott Wilkinson here. In case you hadn't heard, Home Theater Geeks is back. Each week, I bring you the latest audio-video news, tips and tricks to get the most out of your AV system, product reviews, and more. You can enjoy Home Theater Geeks only if you're a member of Club TWiT, which costs $7 a month, or you can subscribe to Home Theater Geeks by itself for only $2.99 a month. I hope you'll join me for a weekly dose of home theater geekitude.